Hey everybody, welcome to the Superior Adventures Guild. My name's Dave, your humble dungeon master, and thanks for joining us here on our Beyond Saltmarsh Wednesday night Greyhawk campaign. I really appreciate that you're here. I want to introduce you to some of my best friends, my good buddies. Say hello, fellas.
Hello, fellas.
I knew you were going to do that. I teed that one up for you.
You did.
Hey, it's been a couple weeks since we've been playing Beyond Saltmarsh. We took a break to play test a few adventures that Chad and I had written for our Veterans D&D, which is a live Dungeons and Dragons game that we just started playing in September. It'll be a monthly game where we invite local veterans from our community here on the shores of Lake Superior to play Dungeons and Dragons and introduce them to something that we are all obviously very passionate about. So that's really cool. We took a couple weeks and did that. We are running sort of like a season-ending, loose ends tying upping game tonight, and then we will actually be taking a break from the Saltmarsh realm and diving into a mini campaign that's going to go about 3 to 6 or 7 episodes, and Michael will be running that one. More to come on that. We'll be having a session 0 next week, and that game is called, I have it written down somewhere, it is called The Isle of Endless Fog. And that is actually a game setting and adventure that is written by the good folks over at CZRPG Publishing, which, as it turns out, are our campaign sponsors for our Wednesday night game. So we appreciate that. We're excited to dive into one of their modules and adventures and worlds, basically. Michael will be doing everything he can to for payback and to murder us, I'm sure. I can only expect the worst and the best at the same time, Michael.
And if you watch that game, you can pay us bits to do Foghorn Leghorn accents.
There will be no bits paid for Foghorn Leghorn accents. Those are all done free of charge.
Oh, wow.
And of course, I would provide no feedback, Dave, because as we were discussing a little bit earlier, I can do so much worse things to your characters than kill them.
That's true. And I would expect that from you. A seasoned, well-seasoned, I should say, dungeon master like yourself has, I'm sure, a plethora of ideas.
I certainly am
for our demise.
salty.
That's true, which is ties right back into this next item on my episode outline. Guys, please, let's go around the virtual tabletop here and introduce ourselves, beginning with my good friend from preschool, Andrew.
Greetings, everyone.
Wow. Nice flair. I like it.
I don't know where that came
He's
from.
got some new tricks up his sleeve, it looks like.
All right.
Yep.
My name is Andy. I'm playing Rhunar Deg. He is a 9th level human, dual sword, sometimes wielding Battlemaster fighter, and captain of the Good Buddy. And yeah, he's really missing his ship right about now. Wants to go sleep in his comfortable cabin after a long time in the jungle.
He does have a nice quarters, captain's quarters on the ship. And if the ship is still there when you guys get back to Cyber, you'll have an opportunity to do so.
It's going to be filled with mutinous crew that haven't been paid in a while.
Taken over by Sawage and bandits. Byron. Hi.
Hello there. I didn't see you there. Oh goodness.
Oh boy.
I'm Kirk. I'm playing Byron, the rogue of the group / the apparently trap detector / moral. Not moral.
No, I wouldn't go that far.
That doesn't make
I wouldn't
sense.
go that far. You've been pretty cautious, though.
Voice of reason, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd go that far.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far either. You know,
more level-headed than usual.
Yeah, that's true.
I've been good. More level-headed. Yeah,
Slightly.
good call.
Hey, fam.
What was I? Oh, we're coming back to our cursed ship.
Cursed? Hold on. Let me write that down. Hold on.
Yep.
I'm getting ideas.
Yep.
Cursed.
The ship's cursed. The ship's cursed. Let's be honest. I got cut off. I got one of these from Andy. I'll say no more.
Only
no
I
more,
have the
say
power
no
to
more.
mute. All right. Well, thank
I
you,
can keep
Byron.
going?
No, you're done. I'm muting you. No, I'm just kidding. Chad.
But
Actually, I
seriously,
wasn't.
I'm muting you. Hello, it's me, Chad, also known as North Shore DM, also known on this game as Tenoch Knucklebones, everyone's favorite jungle-born halfling divination wizard who, yeah, is awesome.
And to Michael.
That was so succinct. I don't know how to follow it other than to say, "Hi, I'm Michael. I have character." No,
that's about all you can do there.
That was really the only way to follow that. But I'm still Michael. I am playing Theo, a character who was actually created by a tribe of Koatoa that were trying to dream a god into existence, and instead created this beautiful half-elf man who is a hexblade. Only one part of that is a lie, and I'll let you figure out which part it was. But excited to be here, excited to be back, and excited to turn it back over to Dave. Dave.
Hey, it's me again. You know what? We've got a couple of announcements. And really, the first announcement that I want to do is to thank all of the folks who were involved in last weekend's GreyhawkCon. It was awesome. We had a blast. I played in a couple of games with some really, really fun people. And the entire weekend of Dungeons and Dragons in Greyhawk was a wild success. So I really appreciated that. Folks like people who are in our chat here. Phantom ran a bunch of games and played in a bunch of games that were fantastic. One of my favorite moments actually from GreyhawkCon was in a Blue Box RPG game where Phantom was singing a couple of different tunes. It was fantastic. It was great. It was super fun. So thanks to everybody who participated in that. It was really great. The other announcement that I wanted to make was to give a huge shout out to our campaign sponsor, CZRPG. The folks that you know, viewers and players, create a bunch of epic 5th edition's Dungeons and Dragons content, like game settings, character options, maps, adventures, all kinds of great stuff that you as a DM or a player can throw into the game to spice it up. They really do pride themselves on making things easier for dungeon masters so that they can focus on the game and the fun. And I think they've done a really good job. Tonight, we are excited because we are going to be giving away a copy of one of their latest titles, Encounters in the Feywild. This is a really cool 48-page supplement for 5th edition. 10 different encounters that are fully fleshed out, a couple of new stat blocks, 20 unique maps, a bunch of great artwork, NPCs, adventure hooks, etc. Really good content that you can throw into your Feywild adventures. So if you would like to enter to win, please type the word !drawing into the chat. Kirk is going to show you how it's done. What a guy. We are excited and we are grateful that they have stuck with us throughout this season and have done a great job of supporting us. So we want to support them. So if you have an opportunity, I want you also to know that they are running a Kickstarter. And I'm going to drop a link here. Maybe.
I believe in you.
Yeah. They have a Kickstarter going. Check it out. We'll get a link up there in just a little bit. They are running with a new, what are they? They're doing a bunch of encounters and epic adventures. It looks really cool. I don't know why the command isn't working, but we'll get that fixed and get it in there. But thanks to Christian and his team for supporting us. We really appreciate it. We do have some other announcements. Andy.
Yes. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, when those times when you have an announcement.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
About that, like I was thinking, Dave, like when you wake up in the morning and you get a cup of coffee and then it occurs to you, I got to start my day. I got to go change my clothes. We have the perfect solution for that. T-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, tank tops, all sorts of stuff in the Guild Superior merch store. Go check it out. Some of them look like this. They're fancy. They're great. I wear it around my neighborhood and It's a wild success.
Really? People are into it.
Yeah.
People just tell
Okay,
you.
that might be a bit of an exaggeration.
Is that because
but
that's all you're wearing?
yeah?
Ah,
No, just
Good
kidding.
on ya.
It's,
But we got mugs, we got stickers. Check it out. We'll post the link.
yes, we will. If we can figure out how to get our chat commands working. In the meantime, Chad.
hey,
Hey.
you know how sometimes that you want to play games?
Mm.
Yeah. Well, I got a thing just for you. Yeah, Gamehole Con and virtual Gamehole Con, because sometimes you want to play games with other people while being in your own house and, you know, in whatever state you want to be in because it's your own house. October 21st through the 23rd of it's October of this month. Yep. October 21st through the 23rd. I haven't done this in like a week. We're running some games. I'm running 2 games. One like Aliens, one like Red Dawn. Both you'll be able to, hopefully, as long as everything works out, you'll be able to watch us play it. It's going to be great. I'm excited. There's a lot of games you can still sign up for stuff and do the things. Yeah, it's the biggest RPG and tabletop game convention in the Midwest. Be there, or be trapezoidal.
Interesting. I like it.
Yeah. That's all I got. Thanks.
Awesome. Michael, is there anything else that you wanted to add about the mini campaign that's coming up at all, or do you want to save that for next week? I think we've got planned to do a session 0.
Oh, that's just where I was going to go next week. Hey, everybody, my name's still Michael. We'll be doing session 0. We are going to, despite the fact being kind of a mini campaign, I'm going to treat it with the full care and respect that I would any campaign up front, just because good habits are good practice. I think I messed up that quote, but who cares? Really excited to get a chance to run on the channel. Totally nervous about all the technical work. And the other thing I wanted to say there was I want to give a huge shout out to Dave. Some of you know how much work goes into just making the stream look as slick as it does. Some of you may not, and it's a lot. And on top of all that, Dave has been running games and writing copy and outlines. And Dave, thank you so much for all the work you do.
Hey,
we really appreciate it.
Thank you. If anybody can tell me why our chat commands from Steam Elements aren't working, that would be fantastic in the chat.
Yeah, you're literally trying to do all that and work chat commands. Jeebus, you are a machine, sir.
Oh boy. Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Kirk, did you have anything for us, sir?
No, I can't think of anything today.
All right. Fair enough. All right, guys. Well, let me see. What else does this thing say we do? God, it's been so long since we've done this.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, let's play.
We do
let's
both
get into
Dungeons
it.
and Dragons.
Let's get weird.
We are an equal opportunity gamers.
Are we? All right,
Yep.
fine. All right, here's what I think we should do next, because I'm pretty sure this is what it says on the list that I have. Let's do a recap. What do you guys think? Hey, Scarpy TV, thanks for the sub. 7 months?
7 months.
Good on you, buddy.
Yeah,
we appreciate you.
Holy moly.
What
Have we
a
been
guy.
streaming for 7 months?
I don't know, have we? That seems like a long time.
We have.
We have been streaming
I
for
think.
or-
Something like
oh,
that.
yeah.
Kyle, you've been with us since the beginning, my friend. Thank you. We appreciate you. All right, here we go. Take a deep breath. Try to remember how to do this. We're going in for a recap from not last week. It was like a month ago already, or 3 weeks. Here we go. In our last episode, the Deg Gang searched for their lost companion in the cursed mists of Farazan's Cove. Danverius, the Soul Ranger and guide who had led the party deep into the Gloomhaven Glades, searching for and ultimately the party killing the Mosengi, an aberration of chaos which had been released from the depths of the Bodile River Valley on the Jeklea coast in the vast Amadio jungle. Danverius was lost among the mists, the waves, and shark-infested waters. The party, led by their boatswain Byron, repaired a damaged dinghy, gathering scraps and supplies amongst the wreckage from numerous ships that had been destroyed against the rocks. Then you 4 heroes braved the surf, paddling out into the cove, searching for Danverius. You fought the waves, ultimately crashing into a pillar of granitic rock erupting from the ocean. Found yourself attacked by a winged creature in the darkness. Your ability to see the attacker made difficult by not only the night, but also the thick mists that laid over this cursed cove. Yet Byron was first to notice the smell of burnt offerings, a smoldering wreath of cursed magic that was perched high atop the pillar. And the 4 of you tried climbing as best as you could up the walls of this pillar. Climbing proving difficult even for the most agile in the party. There was actually a lot of really bad rolls for climbing during that session. It was ridiculous. So a lot of slipping. Meanwhile, the winged assailant was just picking at you, biting and clawing as you attempted to find some sort of an area to gather your strength and fight back. Rhunar pulled himself up to the smoldering brazier, eventually kicking it into the ocean. And at that moment, the burning wreath hit the water. The mists in this Pharazyn's Cove instantly disappeared to reveal a demonic winged creature, somewhat obscured still by the rain and darkness, but now visible enough to attack and to counterattack. And as the beast attempted to pull Theo at one point from the cliff's edge, it met with the Hexblade Warlock's glowing greatsword and was cut down once and for all. It was pretty awesome. Bloodied, wounded, and weary from the chaos of Pharazyn's Cove, you found Danverius, who had been washed up on the beach. You made camp to warm yourselves and recover from the battle. Now, that's where we ended the session. But what happened after this is the 4 of you and Danverius traveling back to Lambakaya, the village in the jungle, right? You bid farewell to the villagers before navigating your way through the Gloomhaven Glades on the Biori River, eventually finding yourselves returned to Cyber. Now, I went back and calculated the days. It has been 20 days since you guys have been in Cyber. It's been over 3 weeks since you were in Monmurg. Yeah. Now, when you got to Cyber, you spent the next couple of days resting, relaxing, a lot of time at the Dry Dock Tavern and Inn. Warm baths, rum, wine, midday naps. Oh, the best.
A distillery tour.
I'll get to that.
Those drinks with the umbrellas.
Yep, a lot of umbrella drinks. You spent a morning, Tenoch, much to your glee, deep sea fishing off the coast with a grizzled local fisherman named Smitty.
Nice.
That one's for you, Smitty. During one afternoon, the 4 of you toured the Cruzan Distillery, a rum distillery run by an Ulman fellow by the name of Alfredo Ramos de Cruzan. Now, this morning, you wake to a cloudless sky, eastern winds. Preparations are underway for your departure. You are in Cyber. As I mentioned, we would spend a brief time here to tie up any loose ends that you had to tie up, fellas, before traveling on to your next destination. So, my friends, as you find yourselves now in Cyber, what would you like to do? Is there anything that you would like to tie up?
I would like to point out 10 advantages for Dave.
Excuse me?
What?
10 advantages for Dave. Fantasy Animal Vegan also gave out 10 advantages to the players. I figured 2 apiece, 2 floating.
Okay.
Plus, I gave you 3 advantages. Plus, Scarpy TV gave you another advantage. So
and started a hype train in the process.
And there's a hype train going on level 2.
Hey,
I
thank you.
Say thank you, everyone.
Wow.
Thank you so much.
And another one advantage to everyone showed up.
Well,
so what is that?
Damn.
So that's just that.
3
I had
advantages
some
apiece.
left over.
Okay.
except for Dave, who got 15, and
Is
there's
that in
2
it?
floating.
Is that just 15 tonight?
Yep.
Just 15 tonight.
Because
so whatever
I had-
you had before, you can put those on top of
Oh
it.
my god. Okay. You guys, that's awesome. Thank you so much. I don't know if have we ever had a hype train before?
No, that's our first hype train.
Hey!
I think we had one hype train, but it was like 3 or 4 months ago.
I think we just won. I think Scarpy.
Oh
Guys,
my.
I think we won D&D.
We
And-
just won.
and folks-
we won the game.
Oh my
We
god.
won. What did we win?
Let's go. I guess that's what we're doing now.
I guess we're 12th level now, right?
I think we're
I don't know.
officially
Guys, we
we
need
can
to
retire.
focus. We need to
I think
start.
we can
all right,
retire.
level 3.
Oh yeah, yep. Let's back to the game.
Okay. Oh my gosh. You guys, thank you so much. This is crazy. We appreciate you all. Phantom, amazing. Monty Hall, MJ Russell, Scarpy,
Whoa!
unbelievable. Fantasy Animal Vegan, Kai Whimsy. Oh, you're getting in on the
Simcola.
action too, huh?
I
Zimcolo,
love
Just
hype trains.
give 500.
Phantom, okay. All right.
Oh my god!
Okay. And there's
Maybe
1,000
should-
just for Andy's death saves.
To be fair, we need those.
To be fair.
Andy
you
will.
probably will.
Andy will need those.
Guys,
think
all
We
right.
just completed a hype train. I haven't seen very many
I don't
of
know what
those
that
happen.
means. I don't even know what that means, but I like it. It's good. I know that. Okay. Gentlemen, is there anything that you want to accomplish, take care of while you're in cyber before you get back on the good buddy? Let's do it. Let's do whatever you want to do. Open-ended
Did we-
game tonight.
Did
Well-
we want to try and fence the loot here, or did we want to do that in Monmurg? I think Monmurg's better prices,
Yeah.
but I wanted to ask.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna
I-
make more money in Monmurg.
I think so. I think Monmurg is probably a good idea.
I know it's been some time, but since it's happened, to include a whole adventure has happened. But do we want to try to inquire about, like, who knows about shit that gets taken and goes out? Like, does anybody in town know, who isn't Alice the Meat? Because we killed her gang. Is there,
We
like,
try to track down that boat.
yeah, like, do you, my party members, do you guys think it's worth it? Do you think it's a viable option, or do we hope that we run into him someday in a different port somewhere?
Well, we know the boat left Cyber.
Yep.
I think that's a needle in a haystack chase at that
Yeah.
point.
Yeah. I figured I'd bring it up.
Unless we've
Never
got
know.
some sort of magic that would find that needle for us, a magnet, if you, perhaps a narrative magnet, if you will. But I don't think we have anything like that.
I
Right.
mean, there's the off chance we could find somebody that knew somebody that was crew on the ship or something like that. But
Right. It's been long enough now. I think it's hard.
Fantasy Animal Vegan. Wow, thank you so much. 10 subs. You
Well-
guys, you're so generous.
I think is like everybody who's watching right now, are they all subscribed? Is that how that works?
They're like double subscribed at this point.
I don't even
Anyone
know.
who's ever watched is subscribed now.
Yeah,
we
that's
got
so
a
cool.
level 5 hype train going on.
I don't know what that means.
Um,
So
yeah.
let me ask you a quick question, Theo. You had said something that would allow you to find what was it that you were looking for?
I'm not
missed that
looking
part.
for anything. I was just tossing out that since this is D&D, there's always magic options. Does anyone have a brilliant magical idea for how we would do that? If not, let's move on.
finding out about the ship that was absconded with.
Mm. Okay.
Right. Well,
Yeah. I mean, I feel like
You're talking
it's
about
worth-
the Lord's Trident, right? So that was the Lord's Trident was the ship that the cargo, Dr. Graw's cargo, was shipped out of Cyber,
Yeah.
and that
Yeah.
never arrived in Monmurg because you talked to
Correct.
Tenoch. You used message or sending to talk
Yep.
with Nadar Kimbatul, your
Yep.
like handler, Dragonborn guy.
Yep.
And he I'm sort of recapping for the folks that are in the chat, but he essentially told you that the ship, the Lord's Trident, which is captained by a man named Anton, who is quote unquote a trustworthy fellow, was never seen or never arrived in Monmurg as it was supposed to. So that's what you
Right.
were at. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess, you know, I know it. Fuck. I feel like we should have done this before, but things were happening at a pace. But yeah, like, do we ask around town? Like,
It certainly sounds like you want to. Do you want to?
yep.
Okay, then Tenoch does that.
Okay.
Yep.
Tell
You know what?
tell
I'm
me
here
a
to
little
play
bit about
D&D.
that,
Yeah.
Tenoch. What? Tell me like, what do you do? Where do you go? Who do you talk to? What questions do you ask?
Let's see. Remind me. Can you remind me with the map of Cyber, perhaps? About-
Yes. Let me
about
bring that up.
about Cyber.
Sure. There it
I'm
is.
a visual learner.
Oh boy. Hold on.
Oh,
Dynamic lighting is off. There we go. Off.
aha.
All right. So let me bring the folks over to the on the map here. This is Cyber. Yes. So there are a variety of locations in Cyber. The Broken Docks district is on that sort of western peninsula, over by number 1 and number 2. Let me zoom in here. So the Broken Wharf district is right here. If you can see that ping. You had been to Grimesburg's Apothecary before you set off on your adventure. Earl's Carpentry, you had stopped there and spoken with Earl, and had inquired about the construction of a strange ballista bolt that you had gathered the plans for, I believe, while you were in Monmurg, if I'm not mistaken. So that's a location there. You had been you'd been staying at the Dry Dock Tavern and Inn, and that's where, if you recall, Tanika and Sales were staying while you were on your adventure. Although it's been 3 weeks, so who knows if they're actually still there or not? We can figure that out.
Right.
And you hadn't really made it over to the eastern part of Cyber over here, but that's kind of the locations that you've been to so far, is really
Okay.
along this docks district.
I think I might start with either at Earl's Carpentry, because I don't remember if they do ship work or not, but maybe somebody, if not Earl's Carpentry, inquire around the docks. You know, if anybody remembers working or having worked on the Lord's Trident when it was here.
Okay.
3 weeks ago, because it's always like I feel like it's always like, I don't want to, you know, the people who aren't a part of a thing who might be able to notice something, because if there's like secret plans going on, you might ignore the guy who's hammering nails into your ship and tarring it up.
Sure.
Maybe that's my thought process.
All right, and just because I think it might be interesting for folks, I wanted to show an overview map again real quick of where Cyber Isle is, so that if people aren't familiar with that part of Greyhawk, we can show that to them. So Cyber Isle is this island here. Let's just double check that's on the stream actually.
Yeah, I got to pan right a little bit.
Yeah, hold on. There we go. So here's Cybert Isle. They started up in Saltmarsh. That's where all of our adventures started. Traveled to Monmurg after that, and then made their way down to Cybert Isle. They'd been given a job from Olesko Mariconia, who is a businessman in Monmurg. Okay, so there's Cybert for folks to get a better idea. So yeah, you go over to Earl's Carpentry. Is that the plan?
Yeah.
And you inquire with them about the Lord's Trident.
Yeah, if anybody, if they do work on ships, and then if any of them perhaps remember doing work on the Lord's Trident.
Okay. Yeah, you walk over there, and it is a bustle. I mean, this is, as you remember, a couple weeks ago when you guys left Cybert Isle, it was the the main, I guess, the peak of the harvest season. And following the harvest season, there was a monsoon that rolled in, sort of like this wet season of this particular area, very tropical environment. But right now, you look around and you can see that there is a lot of work being done on boats. So there are boats that have been brought up into this large warehouse space that are being worked on while you walk in, and you have a hard time getting people's attention because there's so much going on. This having been sort of the off season, if you will, where things need to be fixed. And you do see a variety of people who look as though they're foremen, people who are sort of guiding different projects throughout this warehouse space and workshop.
Folks with a clipboard.
Clipboards are aplenty for sure.
Yeah.
Yep, schematics, drawings. There are people building items that might be attached to different vessels. There are people who are just repairing vessels altogether.
I will approach one of these clipboard wielding
Plus 2
fellas.
clipboard of bureaucracy.
Yes.
Yep.
Good day.
Yes, sir. What can I help you with? We're very busy.
I understand. I am wondering if anyone from your shop has done work or had done work on a ship called the Lord's Trident. Was here around 3 weeks ago.
Let me take a look here. 3 weeks ago?
Yeah. Things happen, and
What kind of things?
there was a monster.
Yeah.
Did you hear about the monster? The attack over at the dry dock.
Yeah. A couple weeks ago, and there was some deaths along the Biori River, the
Yeah.
banks there. I thought
Yeah,
they killed a large crocodile.
We killed a large crocodile, and
Well, that was you.
then chased a monster into the glades.
Well,
And
typically,
we've just come back.
well, you made it out of the glades. That's something. Typically, we don't give out information about the work we do for private parties, as you can imagine. Some of that is confidential.
I understand. Perhaps a donation could be made to you or to Earls.
To me, it's fine. I like the sound of that.
Now I got to think: have I bribed people before? And what did I give them?
You can see him. He's kind of tapping his clipboard with a pencil.
I will
Very busy.
pull out-
We're very busy here.
I will hand him 10 gold pieces.
His eyes light up, and he pockets them. He grabs them and puts them in his pocket real quick, kind of looking around. The Lord's Trident, you say? Yeah, I remember it. Captain Anton. Yeah, trustworthy fella. Often hired to run routes between here and Monmurg or Tolly, I suppose. Trying to think if there was anything in particular. We did some repairs on his ship. Nothing out of the ordinary.
Is there perhaps anyone who might have worked on it that I could speak with, who might remember anything that was perhaps overheard, anything that might have seemed strange? The ship may have been lost, and we're trying to track down perhaps if the problem started here or if it happened at sea.
Well, it certainly didn't start here, if that's what you're implying. I was the project manager on that one.
No.
And
No, I apologize. Not here as in Earls, but here as in when it left Cyber.
Oh. Yeah.
If whatever happened before it left Cyber, or if, say, it was taken. Obviously, this is pirate country.
Well, give me a minute, all right? And he walks away, and he's gone for a couple of minutes, and you just sort of sit back and observe the machinations of this dry dock area where they're working on a variety of different types of vessels. He comes back a short time later, and he's got a basically like an invoice or a record of work completed, and he looks at it and says, "Nothing out of the ordinary. Patch jobs, some repairs on the rudder, some sail work. The rigging was a bit of a mess. We fixed some of that, replaced some things. Seems as though he was well funded. He made some repairs to his vessel that maybe didn't need to be done, but seemed like he was flush with coin. That's about all I can tell you. There wasn't any other sort of strangeness."
It's all right. I just realized I tried to mute myself using my Discord command, and it didn't, of course, mute anything.
We're not in Discord anymore. But yes, he spent quite a bit of coin here.
All right. Well, okay. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And he turns around and goes back to his work. And you're kind of left wondering, like, I just spent quite a bit of coin too. Interesting. What are the rest of you doing? Is there anything else that you intend to or want to follow up on while you're here?
Primary thing Theo would have done once he got back into town is checked up on sales in Tanika. Just kind of make sure, Tanika's alive, hasn't, developed cirrhosis of liver, keeping up with sales, that sort of thing.
Yeah, you're able to track them down at the Dry Dock Tavern Inn, shortly after you return from the voyage. You've spent a couple of days recuperating and resting. Sales in Tanika have been there during that time, so you've had a chance to speak with them. Is there anything in particular you want to follow up with them on?
Seeing that they're still there and in place, that's good. Probably have the conversation with Tanika about, one, this will be concurrent. This part of this conversation is based on one thing. What does Danvarius do when we get back to town?
So do you want to talk about that first, or do you want to talk about Tanika first?
Well, it's just, does he hang around or leave is all that matters for this first part.
All right. So for this first part, Danvarius, once you return, he spends some time with you, initially getting drinks. Like immediately you all go to the tavern and have drinks. You do run into Sales and Tanika at that point. So there will be a conversation, I imagine, that you have with Tanika about what happened to her mentor, Dr. Gra.
Yeah, and that's all going to happen off to one side,
sure,
quietly, and he will also let her know that he has Dr. Gra's notes.
Yeah, she's very interested in that. We'll get to that for sure. Danvarius hangs around for a day. He gets himself a room at the dry dock and stays there as well. There's sort of celebrations and feasts. He's quiet, and he mostly inquires what you intend to do next. Now that you've returned to Cyber, where you will head next.
Well, I think everyone's involved in that conversation, so feel free to jump in, guys. But Theo will quite plainly state our intention is to get back to Monmurg and report back to the man that hired us.
Yes, the what did you say his name was? Mariconia, yeah?
Mariconia.
Let's go. What about you, Danvarius? Do you have any plans?
Well, I don't know, mate. Cyber's been good to me. I'll probably kick around a bit here.
Sail with us.
Yeah, it's interesting for you to offer that, Byron, but
You know, I know we had our differences, Vanbarius.
wait, could say that, yeah.
Yeah, but you saved my life.
Well, there was a lot of life saving going on at various points in our journeys. You know, I was under the impression, Captain Deg, that you know, I would be paid for my services as
yes,
your
absolutely.
guide. If I was to join the crew of your ship, I mean, what role would I play? You know, I'm not the one to swab the decks and that sort of thing. I mean, you know.
Rhunar, we could fire. Well, no, I don't want to fire Fritz.
Maybe we
Yeah, I
don't
don't
fire
know.
anyone. That seems like a bad idea.
Can we have 2 first mates?
You
Yeah,
could
I mean-
make him like quartermaster,
It's-
or
It
There we
sounds
go.
sounds like a lot of responsibility, fellas. Not
It is
something
a-
that I'm looking
you-
to.
just want to be a sailor. I don't know.
I think, not to be rude, fellas, and, you know, your ship, she's a beaut. There's no question about it. The good buddy, though, you might do some stencil work, or it's just kind of slapped on there. But other than that, she's a beaut. That said, you know, I think I'll just poke around here and see what happens. You know, I'm happy with laying low for a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, I understand.
How much?
We're
do
gonna
we
miss
owe-
you.
Are you being truthful?
You're an,
Is
yeah.
Byron being
100%.
truthful?
You're
All right.
you're an honorary good buddy. You saved my life. I love Danvarius now. I would have swam in the ocean and fought sharks off right now.
Yeah, well, you guys did pull me to safety from the surf, so I do appreciate that. That was a bit of a fuckaroo. Well, we've been
just
through a
happy you're
lot,
safe.
fellas. We've been through a lot together, and, you know, what they say, paths will cross and cross again.
If you're on
They
the wrong
admit-
side of that path, Danvarius, let me just tell you, we'll
No,
embrace you with
no.
open arms.
I wouldn't expect anything else, Hern. From you, at least.
Yeah, heck yeah. You're like a brother to me now.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
His other brother.
I've got an idea then. Let's all drink to whatever the hell Danvarius is doing from now from here. I go get another round.
Good on ya. Cheers, fellas.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Did Danvarius ever say how much he was charging for his services?
600 gold.
I think
Okay.
it was 5 gold a week.
All right, so I will pay Danvarius 600 gold.
Also, can we have some money there?
Daddy Warbucks
Yeah.
over here.
Pay us, Captain.
Yeah, about that, Captain Deg, sir. You know, I thought, you know, the base pay of 600 gold, but perhaps a cut of the loot. I mean, I was, you know, I was
Not in the obelisk. That's correct.
Whoa, wait. You want a cut of the loot and 600 gold?
there.
Well,
Well,
I mean,
What, let me
you
just.
said I
let me
saved
just-
your life. If you weren't alive,
Danvarius.
I'd get your cut, right, fellas?
See,
I mean-
that's the thing, Danvarius. And I love you, man. You're like a brother to me. But, like, hear me out. When you pay a guide, you kind of expect them to know the layout of the land. You kind of expect them to feed you
Got you to
and set up your
Lambakaya.
shelter.
Yeah.
You kind
Told
of
you.
expect them to, like, you know what they're talking about the local fauna and flora. And you know what? You
Pulled your ass
were
out of
lost
the
as much
cauldrons.
as we were.
Yeah. Yeah, pulled yourself.
You
your
know,
asses
you
out
know,
of the cauldrons.
and Byron, I'm going to stop you right there, and I'm going to come up with a better proposal to keep this from going the way I think it's going to go. How about an equal share of the loot
not
or
paying
600 gold, whichever is more? Because I don't know exactly how much we're walking away with. It may be less than 600 gold a cut.
You know
He
what?
could have a didgeridoo.
Or a
Less than
dulcimer.
that.
There's a bit of a couple of dulcimers
Yeah,
in the loot
give
pile.
him
Yeah.
a dulcimer.
As the
You
night
can
goes
have
on,
a dulcimer.
as the night goes on and you guys are drinking, he does approach you, Theo, kind of off to the side, and he says, yeah, I mean, one thing I am curious about, if you don't mind me asking, is
Yeah.
you said something, about a week back or so. You said a word, a place maybe. I believe it was Tomoa-chan. I'm real curious to know just more about that. It sounds interesting.
Well, that is the funny story. We are trying to find more out about it as well. Although it's not Tomoa-chan, it's Tomoa-chan. A bit more drama and mystery into it.
I can see that. Yeah.
It's a word we are, in our own way, chasing. So other than a good friend of ours died chasing that word, we don't know much else.
And this somehow relates to that journal that Byron's constantly paging through.
Belonged to his
right?
dead friend. So if you know anything about Tomoa-chan, you are with us. We know it is a place out there, and our friend was looking for it, and that leads to us looking for it. But we're guessing it's further to the east. We're chasing entries and the people he knew, which is most likely where we're headed after Monmurg.
Yeah, to the east then. Well, I wish you the best. This Tomoa-chan sounds like a place of mystery and adventure.
You know, if you're trying to very subtly find out more information about it, maybe that's your interest and you're going that way. I mean, combining efforts may be a good idea. I'm just saying.
I mean, I'm straightforward asking about it, so not too subtle. Very curious. I heard the name and I don't know, it resonated with me. I'm not sure why.
Are you having like a spiritual experience? Should we get a priest? Like a young priest and an old priest?
I don't know.
I would like to, Theo would like to insight check. He's trying to get a read because it's crossing his mind at this point that something weird might be happening with Dan Various, or he may be being fucked with and he doesn't know.
Yeah, roll an insight check. If you would so like.
And I'm definitely using advantage.
Smart. You know what? Me too. I'm going to use one of mine. Okay. What'd you get? An 11? He seems like he's just curious. You guys have been drinking at this point into the night, and he seems very curious about Tomoa-chan and just the stories. He overheard you say something about it I believe it was back in the cauldrons. I had it in my notes somewhere, but I don't really remember
up.
where. You mentioned it at some point, and it kind of piqued his interest. Hey, thanks for the follow, the Fluff Jr.
Hey, Fluff Jr. In that case, Theo will go on, and the most he will really get into it, because Theo's also being truthful. They don't really know a whole lot about it.
Mm-hmm.
He will get into the whatever this trail is we're following and this word in this place, Tomoa-chan. There are some people looking for it who are murderous fucks. Like, literally, we're murdering and running part of a small town on the coast in Keoland. So, if this is something that you're going to try to pursue, be aware that we're the small fish that are apparently chasing whatever this thread is.
Well, sometimes it's the small fish that can get in undetected and shake things up for the bigger fish, which I appreciate, quite frankly. I wish you the best of luck.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Black casual.
He spends a bunch of time with you guys drinking, and he, he'll check in the next couple of days. He gets paid by Rhunar for his trouble and perhaps a bit of the loot if that happens. But feeling satisfied, he sort of fades off into cyber, and you're able at the same sort of time to have a conversation with Tanika where you discuss with her the I guess the conclusion of your quest to find her advisor, her mentor, Dr. Gra.
Once Danvarius isn't around, Theo's going to be a little bit more forthcoming, show the journal, and just kind of run them through what they experienced in dealing with this Mosengi, especially to drive home the point that whatever he was chasing, maybe it was right, but it also turned him into a fucking monstrosity that was devouring things and ingesting them. And maybe be careful if you want to continue down that path of study at the university.
I don't intend to return to university after this. In fact, I have decided to stay here in cyber.
Really? And Theo also looks at Sales. Really? Like, did you have something to do with this?
Sales just kind of nods behind her, and Tanika continues. I have befriended Solstra, and she and her father have offered me a job here at the inn. So I will stay for as long as I care to, and maybe chart a new path for myself. But I have seen what these types of investigations can result in, and the theft of tribal knowledge, the idea that we could perhaps improve upon or control it to serve some other purpose, even just to understand it, is not something I'm interested in anymore. Something should be left in the mysteries of the jungle.
I could literally not have said it better myself, and I wish you all the best. And hopefully we'll come back to get to visit you in this fine place at some point in the future.
Thank you for what you've done. And to you, Sales. And she kind of turns and hugs Sales, and they have a moment as they've spent, the better part of 2.5, 3 weeks together. And you can see that she is very close with Solsta, who is the woman who helps her father run the Dry Dock Tavern that you've met on a couple of different occasions. Actually, you actually only stayed in Cyber one night before you went on your expedition into the... But oh, what a action-packed day and night that was.
That's
Good
true.
Lord, you're not kidding.
Yeah.
Yep.
That is true.
So you have a conversation with Danvarius. You kind of discuss things with Tanika, who you find is going to be staying behind. Sales is, as always, ready to, hit the ocean and start the next leg of the adventure. She doesn't have a whole lot to relay from her time spent, other than that it was restful and a little boring.
Well, Theo's in the same place right now, so I'll pass the mic on to the rest of the party.
Just a small point of order. I will have picked up a small cask of pure alcohol from the distillery while we were there.
Okay.
To preserve the doctor's remains.
Very smart.
Wow.
And I will have picked up
what's
the
left?
fire,
Which is essentially his head, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys recovered his head.
It's starting to stink up the extra dimensional space inside my old bag of holding.
Does it?
Like you do.
Is that how that works?
I think it does.
Yeah, it was really starting to smell from the inside.
Do you have to summon the smell though? Like,
Maybe.
does the smell
crack? You just crack it open, and it comes a howling.
count? Does the smell count as an item within the bag?
Definitely takes up space. There's a lot of gas. It's off.
I'm assuming you guys, we should bring that back to Alesco. What's
I'm gonna
left
be
of the
honest.
doctor?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't see why.
Yeah. As some
I
sort
think
of
it's a
proof.
good idea just to kind of prove that, look, we're not shitting you. We
We didn't just disappear into the ocean and come back and with this like grand tale. You know, I don't know. I just figured.
Yeah,
I'm with the head plan. I like the head plan.
Yeah, I guess as a person who has worked with / for them for a little while, what do I have a read on how someone might take a tale such as ours?
You've worked for Nadar and Alesco for a short period of time, but you
Probably,
definitely
yeah.
would know that proof of deeds done is
good.
valuable.
Okay,
Yep.
fair enough.
I assume, are we alone in the tavern now?
No, there are other people in the tavern.
Okay.
But you do have a cask of alcohol with a head in it.
With the
Yeah.
head in it. I assume it's not made out of glass. You know, it's
What's
like
in
a
the
wood.
What's in the cask?
What's in the fucking cask?
Oh, it's
Who's-
the
who's
strongest
asking?
alcohol you can get. You want
What's
to
in
try
the
some?
box? What's in the box?
The strongest alcohol you can get. This is like the scorpion alcohol, right?
Probably.
Yeah, pour 'em a glass.
This is head alcohol.
Much more terrible.
Yuck. Yeah.
Cabeza liqueur.
Mhm.
All right.
It's-
Byron, is there anything that you want to tackle while you guys are in cyber?
You know, the big thing is going to be just stopping by Earl's Carpentry and picking up our fire ballista.
Yep. The bolts were actually delivered already to the ship, and so there are 6 of them. Six
Sweet.
of these ballista bolts, which have been built off of a design that you had provided through some blueprints and some schematics that you had obtained. I can't remember where, but I think it was in Monmurg.
We got those
It,
back. Too,
it was Monmurg, yep.
Was it Monmurg or was it in Saltmarsh? I don't remember.
I think
It was Saltmarsh,
No, it was
actually.
Saltmarsh, yep.
Was that-
And then we brought it to Monmurg, but I didn't
The-
run into anyone who I could convince to do it for me.
Yeah,
the
Earl,
And
you're impressed when you talk to Earl. When you met Earl, you were impressed with her and her presence and knew that she could handle it. She understood. But now that you see these things, they are exquisite. So essentially, they are a ballista bolt that has at the end like a caged contraption where you can put soaked rags and oil skins and use it as a combustible. So when you fire upon other ships, perhaps at sea, they will, if they hit the ship, they will ignite and splash burning oil on the ship.
Very nice.
They come with a note from Earl, and Earl writes a little bit of a note saying that she plans to refine the design in her own time and produce more of these. So if you're ever in cyber, you should stop by again and check it out.
I don't know how I feel about that. Earl stealing my design.
We literally left the plans with them for 3
Yeah,
weeks.
well,
Oh, yeah,
I
you
mean,
did.
yeah,
You
I
definitely did.
But you know what?
We want the
Don't-
originals back.
Yeah,
Don't-
you know, I trust Earl.
Don't
I
be
trust Earl.
Percy. Don't be Percy.
We just started an arms race in the
Yeah.
the hold.
We're helping.
Yep. The level of technology for ballista bolts just did a huge jump.
Yep,
Mhm.
still not,
We-
it's
we
not
should
a
try to
fireball.
We should try to remember
Yeah.
where. No, it's not Fireball, but it's close. We should try to. I'd like to remember who gave us those plans. That would be interesting.
The half orc carpenter woman in Saltmarsh,
Okay.
and was it Byron? I think Byron hit on her.
Probably.
Yes,
yeah.
he did.
Okay, so
that's
that
when we
came
got
all the way back in
plans.
Saltmarsh. That's pretty
I
cool.
plead.
Yeah.
I plead the fifth.
Yeah. You should. All right. So you've got the ballistas. You have had some conversations. Any last cyber connections or loose ends that you want to follow up on before you depart? The crew, as you find during these few days of rest and relaxation and recovery from this 20-plus day expedition into the Gloomhaven Glades and going after this Mosengi aberration, you've taken some time to recuperate, but during that time you've talked with the crew, you've met with Fritz. They are definitely ready. Their spirits are high, so morale is the highest you've seen it, and especially that you've made it back. Fritz kind of confides with you, Rhunar, that he thought maybe you wouldn't return, and he was sort of concerned on what they would do next. But they're very happy to see you.
That's good. How much we had them paid up when we left, right?
That was the next thing that I was going to mention, is that they are owed some money, approximately 20 days worth of wages, and we can figure that out, offline. We don't need to go through an accounting scene, but it's been 20 days since you left.
You shouldn't have said anything then, because Andy's already doing the math. Look at him.
Doing the math.
He's
That's
calculating.
Fine. That's fine.
30 being entered.
You can do that. Yeah, so I don't know. Is there anything else that you guys want to take care of narratively in Cyber before you depart?
Theo's just going to leave a few desecratory runes around the island so that his horde of undead that walk the seas can rise in the dark and harvest the town. Other than that, we're good.
Interesting.
Byron's going to see all this happen and immediately tell the captain.
Captain, Theo's seeing the dead.
Theo's necromancing again. He's doing it again. Here
I'm
he's
in
doing
my cabin,
Look
rubbing
at the
my bare
rune.
feet into the bearskin rug on the floor of my cabin.
He's lost. There's nothing. Nah, just let it go.
I don't.
All right.
I can't. Yeah.
I don't know if there's anything else besides our bolts, unless we wanted to explore more of Cyber, which I don't really think we have time or energy to do.
I think we should just burn the island now and just leave it as an ash pile.
Was there anything that we were gonna acquire for Grindberg or anything like that?
One thing we could.
I vaguely remember. I remember when we went in there and we bought some shit. I don't remember if there was. I don't remember. I didn't write anything down about Grindberg said we could give him this berry if we had some for 6 gold pieces. I don't remember if there was anything like that. I don't think there was.
I don't have anything harvested for him.
Right.
Yeah, you guys didn't collect anything for him.
Okay.
We could inquire to see if there's any trade goods that need to go to Monmurg for money.
Mm.
They didn't have all that grass.
So I don't know if that's an option,
Like sawgrass?
Is it?
or if we
Like sawgrass. We could
There
take
was-
that to Monmurg.
The main export from this area is fruits, and but the big one actually is the cane, the sugar cane that's used
Sugar
for
cane.
distilling. Yep, and sweetening products. But you can tell that sort of season has already wound down. The harvest has already taken place. When you first arrived, like 3 weeks ago, is when the peak export season was. Once the monsoons hit, that sort of shut down the growing season, and so now it's mostly like repairs and getting ready for the following season.
Supplies wise, do we need to restock the boat to get it moving again, or are we okay in that regard?
Most of the rations that the boat has probably would have gotten used, I would guess, but Fritz probably would have kept them stocked, I would say, because he's a good first mate and he knows to keep the boat ready to shove off at a moment's notice. So there's plenty of supplies to get you back to Monmurg.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So I guess depending on the time
Hey,
of day,
thanks, Phantom.
maybe we should just shove off when we're ready.
Sure. Yeah, you pick a nice morning. It is beautiful, bluebird, blue sky. There's an east wind blowing, and you and the crew set sail for Monmurg. And I think what we'll do now, let's take a quick break, and we'll come back in about 10 minutes, and we'll talk a little bit about the voyage, and then we will arrive in Monmurg, and we can take care of some of the loose ends that you have there, because I know there are some that you want to take care of before the next leg of our journey, which will be the next season of the show. So
There is
all
a
right,
basketful.
there's a basketful. Everybody in the chat, thank you so much for that hype train, for the follows, the gift subs. You guys are amazing. Phantom, thanks for the gift subs. Of Flan Blackmore's here. My goodness, thank you so much for being here. We will be back in 10 minutes, and we will find our way back to Monmurg, in the hold of the Sea Princes, back where some semblance of law reigns.
Oh, that's
Huzzah.
gonna end well.
Oh, that's right. You guys are wanted. Oops! Cat's out of the bag. We'll see you in a minute.
Oh no!
Gentlemen, you have set sail across the Azure Sea, and I would like to bring us into a map screen here so folks can see exactly what we're talking about. Give me 1 second.
I'm the map. I'm the map. I'm the map.
Bring you guys over. Bring this over. Okay. So, we'll go over here. Now, you guys set sail from Cyber. And there we go. I would like just 2 simple rolls. I would like a navigator's check from your navigator, Michael, Theo. And I would like a piloting check from the captain.
Okay, would that be water vehicles?
Yes, sir, it would.
Oh, looks like we're going to Ponyard.
And the first roll I would like is exactly. Wait a minute, where are we? So Theo.
Are great to Fairwind.
Very nice. You're muted. You are muted now. After
Only
all
got
that.
an 18 with the navigator's tools.
That's pretty good. You have a +7. That's not bad.
Yeah, Theo's a good sailor.
He is. That's kind of his thing, right? That's his background.
Yep.
Now what attribute would I use towards my...
I would say you could use a wisdom-based roll. And you can roll it with advantage because of the success of your navigator.
Okay, here we go.
Nice. Nice, nice.
Well, that just rolled it once, but I'll do it again.
Yeah, roll it again.
That'll still do.
Roll it again,
This is-
Sam.
Oh, now it rolled with advantage.
There we go.
Wow.
A 12.
Yeah. So, based on those rolls and the weather, you guys make really good time. It took you 3 days to get from Monmurg to Cyber, and you had, if you recall, a few little hiccups along the way. At least one major hiccup,
Just a few.
where you almost made landfall, or you kind of made a little bit of a landfall on Fairwind Isle, but you were able to sort of reconfigure your plans and make it Cyber. But this, you make a little bit more of a direct route across the open ocean. I don't know if you guys can see that dashed line that's kind of purplish. You
I
do
can.
make it back to Monmurg. About the same amount of time, but the sailing is flawless. The crew is, you can tell, excited to be back on the open sea. They are all sort of pistons are firing in terms of their ability to work together to make this happen. And like I said, it takes 3 days to get to Monmurg. At which point you do initially see the shorebirds start to fly around the ship, giving you a little bit of an indication that you are approaching the city. You maneuver your ship ultimately through into a vast harbor, and you see the cliffs of Skane Isle that cut through the deep blue waters, rising to this sort of semi-mountainous ridgeline to the east as you enter into this almost knife-like fissure between Skane and Monmurg. All manner of seabirds swirling overhead, flying about, coming down to check out your ship and others, but really sort of guiding you along on this really beautiful voyage. The port of Monmurg, as you enter, is busy with numerous ships that seem to be arriving and departing all at the same time. It's chaos, as you recall from before. This is a quite large city. I would say it is, without going back and looking too closely at the write-ups in the Greyhawk Gazetteer. It's a much larger city than you've been in recently. For sure, it's way bigger than Cyber. It would probably be a little bit smaller than Gradzul, but certainly along sort of in that realm of cityscape. You see the docks, the district buzzing with activity. Even at a distance, you catch the scent of food and filth. You begin to hear voices echoing off the steep cliffs which graciously bow down to the water, allowing the vast city to access the ocean between the jagged rocks. Do you intend to seek a dock to dock the Good Buddy, or will you paddle in on a smaller boat, your rowboat that you have aboard the ship, or what would you like to do, Captain?
Yeah, we will anchor in the harbor.
Mm-hmm.
And
I could probably
row
get us a
in.
deal on a port slip.
Yeah, no, we're not going to spend money on that right now.
Also, remember
Okay.
the part where we may be trying to be arrested.
Mm-hmm.
Stay small and agile.
We
Could I just take a quick look around the harbor? Is there like any
I
undue
wasn't a part of
attention
that.
being paid to our arrival by large bands of guards by any chance? I'm just using my
your spyglass. Yeah,
My
roll
spyglass.
roll a perception check with the spyglass.
A spyglass roll.
18.
That's not bad. That's not bad at all. You don't notice anything, Captain, as you sort of scan the harbor from the ship. For example, there are no boats coming to meet you. There are no Sea Prince's fleet vessels that seem to be approaching the ship in any sort of alarming way. You don't really get the sense that anybody's paying you any mind at this point. You have entered into a large port, and there's a lot happening, and you are, for the moment, under the radar.
All right. That's
All right. Well, let's run up the Jolly Roger and attack. Wait, no.
No
Roll
other
initiative.
types of armed people. Good.
Roll initiative. Before we get too far into this, I should say that, folks, if you're watching right now, we will be giving away a copy of Encounters in the Feywild. I forgot to mention when we came back. So if you want to enter that, !drawing, and that will give you, that'll enter you into the drawing when we do that at the end. And that is by our sponsor, CZRPG, the good folks that have sponsored this Wednesday night Beyond Saltmarsh campaign for quite some time. And Christian and team, we really salute you and we thank you very much. It means a lot to us. Okay, so you guys, we'll move things forward a little bit. You make it, you anchor the Good Buddy in the harbor. You form a small landing party and you head into Monmurg. Where do you intend to go?
I would say first point of order would probably go talk
We
to
need
Alesko.
Mariconias.
Go to
Okay.
Mariconia, check in with him, see if we can get any kind of money for what we just did.
$1 bill, y'all.
So
All
we'll
right.
start making our way up to his part of town.
Mhm.
Yeah, and if you recall, his offices are inside the walls of Monmurg. So you walk from the docks district up this hill towards the gates to the actual city itself. The walls of the city made of stone and boulders. Jewels seem to pop out at certain locations in the wall. It's a bit ornate, a bit gaudy in some sense. Sea serpents with rubies for eyes around the entrance. Great ships and monsters of the deep. The walls themselves are not only functional in a defensive stance, but also quite artistic and aesthetic in their construction. You make your way through the gates without much problem. There are guards who inquire about your business, but you quickly make your way inside with no problem into the market ward, where Alesko's offices are above a shop in a nondescript sort of business district. And as you walk in, you see a very tall, blue dragonborn, Tenoch, who you know as Nadar Kimbatul. Well. If it isn't Tenoch Knucklebones and company. Ha!
Oh shit!
Welcome back.
Tenoch, are you the captain now?
We've returned.
Indeed you have. It's good to see you, friend. And he reaches out and gives you the predator handshake because...
Yo, yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Because we're both yoked.
Yo, yeah, exactly. And you guys kind of almost like a arm wrestling sort of thing for a second.
All right.
But then
all right.
you kind of look each other in the eye and sort of
Should
raise
we
an
roll
eyebrow.
for it? Should we roll for it?
Do you want to roll?
Fuck yeah, let's do it.
All right, go ahead.
Hang on, let me find my character sheet. Doot.
Take a roll and let me know what you got for a strength check.
Oh, I rolled athletics, and I rolled a 10.
I'm gonna roll with advantage because I have
All
so many of them to burn.
I thought about it. But I also
Oops.
decided that
No,
I
that's not
might
right.
try to let him win.
No, you definitely won. I rolled a 4 and a 7.
Fair enough.
Yep. So perhaps he let you win. You're not sure,
Perhaps,
but you,
yeah.
But you definitely sort of give a little bit more of that testosterone-filled kind of grip, and he kind of nods his head and he says, "It's good to see you back, Knucklebones."
I can honestly say it's good to be back.
You've been gone for
make it
some
back.
time. I hope you were successful. The boss is very anxious to speak with you. Let me see if he's available. Sit. And he looks to
That would
all of
be
you.
good. Thank you.
This
Yo.
Dragonborn is huge. He's got 4 amazing like tusks that sort of you kind of erupt from this blue scaled head. Under his chin and his neck and down his chest, it's sort of a gray coloration, perhaps showing a little bit of his age. But the scales on the back of his head and on his arms, which are exposed through a sleeveless cloak, are just brilliant blue and shimmering in the light of this room as the sun comes through the window. And he kind of flexes and starts to walk away to go check in with his boss.
Good to be the Dragonborn. Theo is going to just kind of crane his head around looking for the his other lieutenant, the blonde woman.
Does Rhunar see a candy dish in the waiting room?
Roll a perception check.
Was there a candy dish here?
No, there was in Saltmarsh though.
Oh, natural 1 for a total of 7.
He sees a candy dish.
You
It's gone the other way.
You see a dish, but there's nothing in it.
Oh,
It's just an ashtray.
Right?
I'll just light a pipe in disappointment.
No candy for you. Theo, you do not see Leonor, who you remember from an earlier encounter, was
Yeah,
sitting in
happens.
this very waiting room at one point. But you are met with Nadar stepping back out of the office of his boss, and he gestures you forward. And you walk into this dark office space, quite large. There is a desk at the far end of the room, windows behind, a man sitting in a chair, and smoke filling the air inside this room as he puffs on this pipe. And these huge plumes of smoke as he exhales fill up the room. And almost, for those of you that may or may not, for those of you that aren't smokers in the party, it's quite offensive in terms of the secondhand smoke that's in the air. But if you are smokers, you may not care. But he gets up and he goes and opens the window, and a lot of the smoke just kind of gets sucked right out the window.
While his back is turned, Theo is going to mutter a magic word. His eyes will turn ice blue, and Theo wants to detect magic towards Mariconia.
Oh, okay.
Just to check.
Sure. Yeah, you see multiple pings of magic. As he turns, he has his back to you, and he's opening the window. You see the outline. I imagine it sort of like highlights the outline of objects, and you see that there's a dagger on his hip, kind of tucked behind him. That a dagger-sized object that gives off sort of this blue glow. And as he turns back to you, you see that there are 2 rings that he wears that are also glowing and giving off an essence of magic. And there is also an object on his desk that gives off a bit of a magic essence, but it appears as though it is obscured inside of a wooden box.
Hey, the important part is he doesn't ping like perhaps he was some sort of polymorph dragon waiting to meet us. That's all I care about.
That's something you'd have been able to detect.
Theo thought he might.
He doesn't know.
Theo literally had the thought of, wait, is this guy really a dragon? Apparently not. I didn't detect it. That's the internal Theo monologue.
And just to all the people that are in the chat, he's totally a dragon. He sits back and he just kind of puts his fingers up in his way where he makes kind of like he taps his fingertips together and sort of touches his index fingers against his lips, and he says, "Gentlemen, so good to see you. I'm so happy that you've returned. Tell me, Tenoch, Captain Deg, what has happened? Tell me that you've found the good doctor and his precious cargo."
Well, it was a long, interesting trip. I'll put it that way. We did send word that the ship had left Cyberit. But then we also received word that it never arrived in Monmurg.
That is correct. The Lord's
Have you heard
Trident
anything else?
has not made it here. Troubling. You did not encounter it on your travels back.
No, it was gone by the time we got there.
With no way to track it, I suppose. This is troubling. And what of the doctor? Is he here? Where is he?
I'm sorry to report, but the doctor has died.
He is here.
We brought back his what's left. We brought back his remains.
Do you have them with you right now?
I do.
Please.
And I'll take an awkward 3 minutes trying to pull the barrel out of my bag of holding.
That fits in your bag of holding? Ah, damn.
Maybe, I don't know. I guess it would be like a 5-gallon keg or something. So maybe I couldn't have done that, but
It's just a head. It's not that big.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
don't worry about it. That's all good.
Duffel bag of holding.
You produced the barrel, the cask, the small cask with a head-sized cask. Of course, why not?
and I'll recount our experiences in there, holding out aspects that didn't directly pertain to hunting down Dr. Gra. Like,
So you're not telling about the distillery tour?
yeah, no distillery tour, no venture into the Pinjara ruins. Just monster attacks. We pursue, find out monster is Doctor. We slay monster.
Wait. You're telling me that you killed the doctor?
Well, you'll have to understand the situation. The doctor had transformed into a beast that was reproducing itself and taking over dead bodies and spreading throughout the island like wildfire. It had already decimated at least one village that we came across. Actually, two.
It is a plague upon this world.
And
So
what of
it was
this plague? Was it killed with the good doctor?
we believe so. Did you happen
Yet
to
the
know anything
cargo
about?
and the ship remain
In the
adrift.
wind.
Mm.
Yes, I believe, as they may say in some cities further north, this smells fucky.
Yes.
Where do they say that?
Was there anything recovered from the doctor that could help me follow up and perhaps find the ship? Any items, notes, research, things that that I could share with my contacts at the Royal Athenaeum to perhaps help us figure out what loose ends might still be out there in terms of this plague, you say?
Theo will pull out Dr. Gra's notes.
Yes,
We
yes.
did
He reaches
find his
forward to
journal.
accept them, and he starts to look through them if you hand them to him.
Theo does.
I would be lying to you if I said I could understand the science of this, but I do know, as do you, Theoderic, the members of the Royal Athenaeum who would be very interested to follow up on their colleagues' research. I am concerned that we do not have any word from the Lord's Trident. Captain Anton, who by all accounts is a trustworthy fellow, missing. Well, nevertheless, you have returned with the notes, the research, the doctor. Is there anything else that you recovered off of the doctor that could perhaps be helpful in our efforts to locate this ship?
Not that I know of, no. Oh, you're muted.
There we go. Theo will literally start going through his bag of holding to kind of just as a show of I'm checking, also because I'm checking the inventory.
Mm-hmm.
So he pulls out at one point like a small box of old books. No, not this. Pulls out a book, Principles of Navigation. Not that. Pulls out a hand crossbow. No, not this. Pulls out a fine dulcimer. Nope, not that. No, that's all. Unfortunately, I don't have anything else.
Tenoch, do you have any insights from your connection to the weave that might give us some sort of clue as to where we could search for this ship?
I was actually personally out of character just thinking about this. I could inquire with Mother Tiger to see if there is anything she can tell me as to the whereabouts of this ship. It might be a bit adrift, or a bit too adrift, but it is worth it is worth the effort. I'll need to gather some ingredients,
Of course, of course.
but that is something I can attempt.
Well, if you would be so kind, since we are all here and it is a concern. If this creature, you say, spurred and spawned from the Bodal River Valley, deep within the Medio, if even a bit of its essence was aboard that ship in that cargo, for example, that could be quite bad.
Doom for us all.
Perhaps indeed.
So you've had no word on the ship or its whereabouts?
We have not heard from the Lord's Trident and its Captain Anton, who, by all accounts, is a trustworthy fellow. That's literally the note that I have for Anton, is that he is a trustworthy fellow.
Well, apparently
I have the same
everyone
note.
took
I have
away.
the same note written down.
Can't argue with that.
Yeah,
Everybody
What a
knows
good fella.
it. Everybody knows it, of course.
everybody knows. Yeah,
Everybody knows that, Captain Anton. Yeah.
it's a very
be-
detailed stat block, but that's
If-
the big takeaway.
Yep.
There's one thing about the Captain Anton
Hmm?
that
He's
everybody
trustworthy.
knows.
Yeah,
Well, Tenoch, how long will it take you to get everything together?
maybe an hour.
So, should we stay here or downstairs while you go get them? Do you want us to come with you? Should we just have a keg waiting for you?
I'll take. Why don't you join me, Theo?
That sounds ominous. Come, let us go to our doom.
Yeah, we'll go track down some ingredients, and we'll be back.
Okay. Very good. As you leave, Tenoch and Theo, Nadar kind of catches you for a moment, Tenoch, and says, "Before you leave, Tenoch, I have something I want to speak with you about, but it can wait. When you return, we'll speak."
Okay.
But you don't have anything for me, big boy?
Is that
No, I don't.
is everything okay?
Of course.
Okay. We'll be back.
Rhunar and Byron, what are you doing while Tenoch and Theo go searching for spell components?
I think I'm gonna pop over to Klovox Emporium, a fellow seeker.
Have we got some money yet? By the way, Rhunar.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
I
kind of
mean,
expecting Rhunar has paid me by now,
You
so I'm
want
like
money.
not sure how much I have to spend.
All right. Well, just FYI, we spent $1,000 just getting out of Cyber. 1,000 gold.
I'm hearing a lot of excuses and not a lot of paychecks.
Paying Dan Various and the crew. That was a hearty chunk.
Wait, you
got like-
paid Dan Various? What
So
did he
you've got,
do?
like, how much do you have for us?
Oh well, what do you think is good? I don't know. You tell me. What are you looking? What are you
10,000
looking to
gold
do?
and a keep on the shores of
Not possible.
Greyhawk.
I
Not
could
possible.
use 300 gold.
Done.
Okay.
So does everybody want 300 gold?
I mean, I'd like 800, but that can come down the road.
That's a doable amount.
And-ish.
We can do more.
How much
but,
do you guys have?
Oh, when I said 3, can I have 5?
No.
What he really meant was,
If I had
Um,
5, it would be very good for everyone.
Let's put it this way. Okay, after our loot that we haven't sold yet, the total
Okay.
loot
Okay.
combined with what we already had on the boat was 4,000 gold, 4,130 gold.
Okay.
All right.
So
So we're
there's
not
3,000
like rolling in it,
left.
but there's thousands of gold. We paid about 1,000 to Dan Various and the crew leaving Cyber, so that's bumps us down to about $3,000.
Okay. So that's
Which means 1,000's doable for Byron.
All right, I'll take 300. 300 right now is fine.
Keep in mind we have a long journey south.
Yeah, and I'll need more
Oh,
later.
I know. We have a lot of stuff to still sell.
And we have some stuff to sell.
As
about
the
a
deck,
grand to
as the
1,200.
Decromancer, I'll need more money later.
All right. But I think like 300 apiece would be doable.
This is the allowance.
500. 550.
Uh,
550 and not a gold piece less.
No, we can't do that much.
until we sell our shit.
Yeah.
Let's sell
So
the
how
shit.
about
let's sell the
table
shit.
it. Let's table
and
it for
I
now. You get 300 right now. We'll table it. We'll do
Yeah.
our shit.
How am I
Boom.
supposed to
Let's move
spend
on.
500
I don't give a shit.
gold
Let's
if I
move
only
on.
have 300?
God, guys
You're
are
lucky I know Klovak.
demanding. I should get some new crew.
This is what
on
Theo
here.
is demanding nothing right now.
Well, if you're gonna get crew that can't cast magic, then
Entitled. You guys
then
are
then
so
you're good.
entitled.
Need a new deck wizard. This one's really
Yeah.
expensive.
I'm
I
still
stood
literally
over
right
there
here.
Unconscious corpses next to a beast that spit slugs.
Holy shit. All right.
All
So-
right.
Let's do this. Tenoch and Theo, you go to purchase spell components for your spell.
Yep.
Not a problem. You find them easily.
Cool.
Byron, what did you want to do with Klovak?
You
At
know,
Klovak's
mostly I'm
Emporium.
gonna pop back in on Klovak. I'll be like, hey, Klovak, long time no see. It's been like 3 weeks. Don't know if you remember me. I'll flash my seeker ring at him.
Oh, yes, of course. It's good to see you, lad. Oh, yes.
I knew you'd remember me. First of
Are
all,
you-
I'd like to give you the most humble thank you.
Oh,
Your,
me? Oh, my. Oh,
yes,
my.
your beard grow
Yes.
potion.
Oh, yes. It's one of the
Seriously?
best. Yes, indeed.
It did me so many favors.
Oh, you look good. You
happen
look
to have
very
another-
good.
Thank you.
Another-
Yeah, you know, I cut
yes.
most of it off. I poured some on my eyebrows too. It works there. If you
Oh,
were
my.
wondering.
Well, no, I wasn't, but thank you. And
Yeah.
is Rhunar there with you?
Rhunar, are you with me?
Yeah, I went with you.
Oh, and hello, lad. Nice to meet you. I'm Klovak.
Yes,
Who's
How
your-
are you doing?
This is my captain.
Oh, very
Captain
good to meet
Rhunar.
you. Yes. Oh. Yeah, well,
About-
okay. Yeah.
I bought a spyglass from you. I don't know if you remember.
I don't seem to recall. Nah,
You,
no.
you gave me a good deal.
Of course. Yes, of course. Beard grow potion. Yes. Let me see here. And you guys look around. This guy's place is piled with trinkets and gears and baubles and equipment of all types. It's very well organized, but it is just everywhere. You know, it's like the aisles between the shelves are super narrow. You like risk bumping things off the shelves, and this little gnome Ebenezer Klovak with this crazy crop of white hair on his head, and he's got these goggles that are sitting on his bald forehead. And he's got this beard, this white beard. He's just bustling about, and he's always whistling as he's looking for things, and he pulls down a potion of beard growth, and he says, yes, well, this one, it's a bit experimental, but I'd be willing to sell it to you. Yes.
Well,
Of
if it's
course.
just an experiment, I'm sure you have a discount in mind.
Well, for you, my friend, yes, of course, Hern.
You already knew. You know, Ebenezer, there's a reason we're friends. I have something to give back to you.
Oh, of course.
Um,
Oh, my.
You gave me this wondrous arcane learning book.
Oh, yes, I do recall now.
This was astoundingly helpful for me.
Oh.
Astoundingly helpful. I can't thank you enough. But I think what I read from it kind of troubled me, and I don't need this anymore. So I'm just gonna give this back to you.
I'm glad it served you well, lad. If hopefully you learned something, but I will.
I
keep
learned
it
more
safe.
than a few things, and I'm terrified of what I learned.
Giving that back? How much did you pay for that?
I gave him the compass of homing.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, it was a trade. Which, I mean, if you don't want the compass of homing anymore, I'll take it back. If you do want it, I can have it. I wouldn't mind looking at what else you got in stock.
Of course,
well.
of course. Yes, of course. Go ahead and give me 2 D100 rolls.
I got a 66 and a 13.
Okay,
I always forget them. I'm hot mic'd all the time now. It's
You are
disconcerting.
hot mic'd. You are hot mic'd, and you're gonna love it.
Yeah.
We'll force
So
you to
people
sing a
start
song.
complaining about hearing me breathing, and then I'm like, uh-oh.
You're doing great so far. Just
Yeah,
you've been
nobody
holding
can
your
hear you
breath the
breathing.
whole time. All right. So what? I'm sorry. What did you roll? What was the first one?
66.
Okay.
It's a dulcimer.
No, don't be silly. All right, roll a
We got two of
d4.
them.
D4 for me.
Womp,
I got a
womp.
1.
Okay.
Sure, that's amazing.
It is a potion of superior healing. And what was the second roll?
A 13.
13 and a d4, please.
A 3.
Okay. Give me 3 d100 rolls real quick. You're muted.
You've muted yourself.
You're so muted.
Oops. I got
We're
a
all muted on the
34,
inside.
Okay.
a 59, and an 88. For a total of 181, if that's important.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So he pulls a few items down, one of which is a potion of superior healing. He has a quiver. Roll a d8 for me.
A 3.
He has 3 +1 arrows in the quiver. And a potion of heroism. Heroism.
Heroism.
Heroism.
What was the first one? It was the quiver, the potion, and what? Oh, the
Potion
great
of
And
healing.
superior
3 plus
healing
1 arrows.
and 3 +1 arrows. A couple of things have come in since you've been here, sir. Well, if you're interested in any of them.
Well, I love the superior healing potion. I love the +1 arrows. And this potion of heroism, I've never seen something like that before.
Well, it's quite interesting. You drink the potion, and you gain a certain a vitality that will help you in your endeavors in combat. For example, it lasts for quite a bit of time, enough to get you through an encounter with some nefarious creatures and adventures.
Whoa, sounds expensive.
Yes, it's quite expensive.
Talk to me.
Well, for you, roll a persuasion check with advantage.
$21.
Oh, very nice. Well, for you, I would say, I couldn't go any lower than 600 gold.
Ouch.
Yes, well, I could sell this for quite a fine sum, but
Yeah, but I mean, you're right.
that's the
You're
best I
right.
could
What
do.
Okay, how about this? The potion of heroism. Give it to me for 300, and I'll give you the arcane knowledge book for free.
You already gave it to me.
Yeah, I did. You're right. So how about 300? And I won't get anything else. Just that.
I'd be losing money.
All right.
It's hard to run a business that way.
I will throw in these 5 huge teeth that I pulled from a monstrous.
Really? Teeth?
Yeah, teeth from a giant monster that it was protecting a chest filled with fake wood coins.
Real quick.
And I'll pull. Go ahead.
I was just going to say thank you to Lord Gazumba and company for the raid. We appreciate you. Thank you so much.
A raid.
Byron, describe these teeth that you're trying to sweeten the deal with these teeth that have been torn from some creature.
Yeah, so I pulled these teeth off of goodness, Ebenezer, I can't even tell you what.
Well, they are intriguing.
Yeah. Well, I ripped them out of a bone monster, a giant bone monster snake thing that was protecting a chest filled with fake gold coins that my captain, and I'll point at my captain, and his
who are you
crew,
again?
This is Rhunar, my captain.
Egg.
You sold
Rhunar
him a
Deg.
Yeah.
Yes, I just can't place
Talking
it.
right now, Captain. You sold him a spyglass a while back. It was a long time ago. Don't
Roll
worry
a
about
persuasion check for me, Byron. As Klovak inspects the teeth, these large kind of tusk-like bone, protrusions that he's trying to sort of place in the natural history books as he remembers them. It's very strange. The dimensions.
They're huge, right? I got
Yes.
a 19.
Well, okay. Look, I'll make a deal with you.
Talk to me.
300 gold for the potion of heroism and the teeth. Yes, that will do. That will do. But
Deal.
That's all I can do.
Okay, so that's good. Let's call that deal. Let's call that transaction closed. We'll call
it Dunsies. You ever heard that?
Dunsies.
Dunsies?
Perfect. Yeah, let's wash our hands of it.
We're Dunsies.
And then I'll look over at the captain, and my eyes will glaze over for a second, and then they'll come back to focus, and I'll look back at him. So how much for the superior healing potion?
Oh my, well, it's quite expensive.
I'm not surprised you said that at all, Mr. Klovak, Sir Klovak, Lord Klovak, Master of the realm of.
No, none of that is true. That's all. They just hearsay. That's just hearsay.
Well, I mean, everyone's saying it.
Superior
Everyone's
healing
saying
potion. Let me see if I can find that in the book. Yeah. Well, I would be willing to part with it for 125 gold.
I will nudge Rhunar, and I'll say, Rhunar, I need an advance. The rest of the money you owe me.
For a healing potion, I'll pay for it.
You're paying for it, then it's not out of my money then. $125. Gold.
So how much did we
the
spend
goodies.
here?
We just spent 425, but 300 of it you already gave me, so don't even worry about it. Just check it off.
I haven't taken that out of the budget yet, but okay.
Take it out of the budget.
Do you guys intend to try to purchase anything else from Klovak? We can kind of speed this up a little bit.
No, I don't want to buy
No,
anything.
I have a feeling Runar's gonna cut me off. Unless he has another beard grow potion.
Just the experimental one that he had available.
Did he give me a price on that?
He did not, but he'll take 20 gold for it.
I'll buy that too out of my own
Okay.
pocket.
All right,
And
so
so now I'm out.
you guys are able to make your way over there, buy some important items. Tenoch, as I mentioned, you and Theo are able to find the ingredients that you need, the components for your spell. What is your intention as you meet back at the you guys meet back at Alesco's?
Yeah. I will. Oh boy. I will cast Divination.
Okay.
With much pomp and circumstance.
And to what do you implore to your mother tiger?
I will capture my own tiger here. I will.
Oh, look at that wee tiger.
Is that a euphemism?
It's such a weird tiger.
Why are these cats always trying to play D&D?
Because we don't let them make characters.
Yeah, that's right.
They are characters.
Yeah, right.
Realism, exactly, Minnesota Muse.
I will. Say. I will ask rather. Where will the Lord's Trident next make harbor? And then, of course, to give you a remembrance of the scope of this spell.
It's within the next 7 days, is it not?
Yes. So, like, obviously, there's not a lot. There's not a lot I can do. And so this is my gambit.
So Alesco sits back, pulling deeply on his pipe, which he is constantly smoking. The air is thick with smoke. The air is now thick with the sort of the essence of the incense that you're burning, the sacrificial sort of offering that you're making, whatever that might be, the throwing of bones, if you will, as is your nature in the past. I would assume that would be similar.
Absolutely.
And you fall into a bit of a trance as your companions watch. And you see a ship. You see a ship that is tossing and turning about a violent sea. And the eye through which you see the scene pulls back. And all you can see as it pulls back is a glowing orb that pulsates. As you pull away, the orb being on the ship itself.
Oh, ooh.
You pulling away from that view, kind of like the camera on a drone, like flying away from it as it tosses and turns on this violent ocean, almost being capsized, as if there is nobody controlling the ship. There are no crew members at work to guide the ship.
Fuck me. God damn it.
Well, they're bones.
And you see nothing more than that in your vision.
As my trance ends, I will say, Mother Tiger has gifted me a vision of the ship Lord's Trident. But I fear perhaps the worst. She is adrift, rudderless, perhaps helmless.
If there was only a way we could find the ship. Well, thank you, Tenoch. Gentlemen, I have much to consider. If there's anything I can do to help you, in the meantime, please let me know. I will be here, of course. Happy to assist.
I have a very important question.
Of course, Theodoric.
Are we wanted men?
Yes.
Yes, you inquire of the...
Incident.
Well said, Deg. The incident with the one Lord William Ray Cyrus.
Every time.
The former captain of the Wrecking Squall. A made man, warded, if you will, by the Fivefold Council, who was slain in the Centauri dungeon. Is that of who you speak?
Oh wait, who is this guy?
I think you know, Hern.
Wait, why do they want us for that?
That's what we're asking about.
Define us.
There is, from what I have ascertained, an inquiry as to the demise of this individual, the evidence having already been submitted from the hold warden, the commandant himself having been there, as you recall, after the incident occurred. Commandant Andrek Chechik. I am afraid your question is of import. I suggest that the three of you maintain a low profile while you entertain to stay in Monmurg. That said, I do suggest that you consider, well, leaving. It does not end well for those who end a warded man.
So we're being blamed, and if we pop our head up, we will be arrested and held responsible for that. Okay, good to know.
The evidence points to you, although you are, for lack of a better term, and I apologize for this, relatively unknown amongst the people here. So, while your faces may be known to some, you have not aroused the suspicion of those who would, say, keep track of such things. Nevertheless, there is a bounty for the collection, to put it nicely, of those who have taken this man's life.
Are they looking for more than one person?
They are looking for the crew that attacked the Centauri estate.
Do they know what boat the crew comes from?
That I do not know.
Do they know what they were doing in that dungeon?
Byron, Bubby, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
What? Something
That's not how
Satan
that
doesn't matter? Something
I don't
Satan
think-
doesn't matter. You really
Who
don't.
is
Byron,
Satan?
Byron,
think
think
justice
Byron,
works into
Satan,
this equation.
whatever.
And
You-
can we
you've
hail
spent-
him?
Gluten.
Byron, you've spent quality time in
Hail
Keeland.
Satan.
You're quite aware of the fact that if someone kills a noble, a duke, or a count, it doesn't matter why you killed the duke or the count. You killed a duke or a count, and you get strung up for it. Same
said.
principle applies here. A count was killed in our presence, and we will be held responsible.
I don't even know what you guys are talking about. I've been on vacation for the last 4 weeks. I was swimming
sipping Mai
in the
Tais.
beaches of Saltmarsh.
And they're
I-
definitely not going to care that you say that.
Who's not going to care? They don't even know who I am. I'm nobody. I'm Dr. McKillingutty.
Let's keep it
Well,
that way.
I'm glad you have that all figured out. The rest of us are going to keep a low profile and get out of town soon.
let's
I
go.
think that is best. Yes.
Yeah, let's get the fuck out of here.
I don't mean to cheapen the moment or anything, but how much are you willing to pay us for our efforts in?
Oh, yes, the work
recovering
that you've
the
done.
doctor?
Of
Yeah.
course. I had hoped that you would recover the cargo and the ship as well. It seems as though that will be something that I will need to pursue. Is that something that you would be willing to
There
take
may
care of
be a
for me?
way.
Out of character.
There may
really
be a
quick.
way.
Out of character, really quick.
Yeah.
Hey, Andy.
Yeah.
Tracking sphere. Go on. I've forgotten
Okay.
about this.
There may be a way.
If you will all remember, after we killed Dr. Gra, the monster, he had several items on him in that bag of holding, one of which was a large stone sphere. All right.
That no one is attuned to.
Tenoch did cast Identify on it
Mm-hmm.
and got some
but I
choice
don't have all of it.
information.
And we haven't
So
had time.
what do we
and,
know about
and
it?
more importantly, I forgot about it.
Right.
I
So
know.
there is such an object that we could potentially use, but I don't know the intricacies of how to use it. And
Out of
might
character.
yeah.
What do we know about it? Like, what do we
Okay.
have on the table currently?
About it?
yeah.
Yes.
Its power word is find.
So you speak the power word. It looks
You
like
can
stone.
extrapolate from there.
But as you
That's
look at
it.
that the stone look fades, turns into glass, and you might be able to see something.
Yeah.
But the limitations to that, I don't know if you had to have seen the boat before. I don't know. I don't know if Tenoch would know more about it than I do.
I mean,
just
I'll
because of
find
what I
out,
have
but I'll have
in my
to
notes.
attune to it. It's going to be a
Right.
thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a thing, but it's a thing, right?
Okay. So assuming our characters would remember all this because they're smarter than us, back to the scene.
Oftentimes
We
they
still
are.
haven't attuned to it, so it doesn't matter. There may be a way.
I think I'm smarter than Byron. Just want to throw that out there.
That actually might be true. Wait, Tenoch, please explain.
Some items we recovered during our time on Cybrit. One of them may prove useful in this way, in this manner. It will take us a bit of doing to engage with it and decipher its secrets. But rest assured, you will know what we do.
Of course, very well. Well, gentlemen, I am very busy, as you can imagine, and I will be here should you need to speak again, and I look forward to hearing from you, Tenoch, on your investigation of this way. Gentlemen, welcome back to Monmurg. Be safe. Be discreet, for God's sake. Be well. And you are
Agreed.
ushered out the door. Tenoch, you are met briefly by Nadar, who kind of stops you in the hall as the others are walking away to have sort of a discreet conversation. Tenoch! I've got to ask, my friend. You've been gone for quite some time with these folk.
I have.
What do you intend next? I can sense the brotherhood that you formed with them, but you do work for me and our organization, and I want to keep it that way. You are important to us, but your destiny and your fate is yours. Tell me, friend, where does your path lie next?
I'll be honest. I do not think it lies here. in Monmurg, at least in the near future. I believe that these men are after the same trail that Mother Tiger has put me upon, and I will follow that trail. Now, of course, should that end favorably, I may be in need of employment and might find my way back here.
Well, you will be welcome, indeed, my friend. Until then, I give you one piece of last advice till we meet again. Do not allow your friends to linger here in Monmurg. There are eyes and ears about, and although Mariconia provides safe haven for you, he cannot protect all of you.
I'll get him out. Yeah.
Very well.
Thank you
Be safe, friend.
for your warning. And you.
Rhunar, you're muted.
Just real quick. So did Alesco basically say that he would not pay us?
No, he paid you guys.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yep.
Just
Yep.
wanted. We don't need to go over the details.
Yeah, he paid you guys, part of what he had planned to pay you based on a partial recovery of information, but he was pleased with what he got. So,
Okay.
He paid you guys 1,200 gold. So let me ask you this. You have spoken with Mariconia. You have settled up for, the quest that you were on. I'm assuming that there are some things that each of you perhaps is interested in doing in Monmurg before departing, even though there is a sense of urgency given the actions that were taken, the unfortunate events that occurred in the Santori dungeon, especially with the murder of one Lord William Ray Cyrus. Who, by the way, for those of you who are watching, the token that we were using looked like Billy Ray Cyrus, so he became Lord William Ray Cyrus.
Yeah.
And he is, without a doubt, a warded member of the Fivefold Council, which is, by the way, an awesome concept that was written by a guy named Mike Bridges. Mike, thank you so much for all that super cool lore. But anyways, so you guys have some time to do some things, but also with the understanding that perhaps there is a little bit of pressure to remain low key. And real quickly, thank you, Wiley Hobbit, for the raid. Appreciate you. Hobbit. Really appreciate Wiley it. I got a chance to play with Scott in Greyhawk Con. It was super fun. And Scott, I've been watching the messages, and I think there's a follow-up. There's a follow-up adventure in there somewhere. I'm so excited. Okay, so if there are things that you would like to do, since we are getting sort of late in the stream, I would love to hear that from you and perhaps figure out what happens in Monmurg before you leave. Thanks for the follow, Miss Misery. May we bring you joy and laughter tonight in our game.
So, just real quick, I just want to throw it out there. We have several non-magical items that we recovered in Cybrit that I don't feel we necessarily need to RP the sale of.
Hence that shit.
But
Yep.
I think we should sell it, or at least transfer its material into the gold piece value
Mm-hmm.
and just add it to our budget.
I'm keeping my
if-
silk toga.
So
You
Who
can't
is-
make me give
who's
it
in
up.
that
charge
is what
of
I would like
fencing
to
it?
know. That's
Who's
what
in
I would like
charge of
to know
fencing it?
is if there's items you guys want to keep, you need to let me know, because I have this weird loose collection of these items, but I don't know what people want to keep.
Theo will volunteer to fence it because he's good at talking to these people and knows these kinds of ports, and he's a fast talker.
So I will give you a list of the things that I know of that we can sell. Do you
Okay.
want that? Okay.
Let me
Yes,
hear the
please.
list.
Okay.
Because I have some stuff written down that I don't want to get rid of.
Wait. Okay. Here I got.
There's 2 dulcimers.
There's 2 dulcimers. There is. I'm skipping over all the magical items because I assume we're gonna keep those. The toga. Byron's gonna keep the
silk
toga.
Silk
A wolf-
toga.
A wolf pelt. That's not much.
There's a couple of those in there.
A golden scepter with inlaid bloodstones that we found on the
fancy.
doctor. A golden scimitar with an elaborate scabbard that I found in the cave.
Hi, Vamp.
Rhunar found.
Yes. Go on.
2 dulcimers.
This is some serious loot.
A white palm-sized dragon scale. I'll add that to the pile.
Ooh.
Did anybody pick up the bracelet from Ikathor's tomb?
Assume yes.
Bracelet?
There was a bracelet and a spear. Obviously, Rhunar grabbed the spear, but I don't know.
Whoa, Vamp. Thank you so much. Vamp Wickman just gifted 5 subs.
Hot.
Thank you, Vamp.
Hot diggity
Oh,
dow.
yeah.
Thank you.
As we're
Are you-
we're settling up the loot. Let's do this.
Somebody
guys.
grab the bracelet.
Let's do this. Let's kind of go. Let's do this offline.
Yeah.
Anything that you guys
It's
want to
still
sell
yummy.
from the loot pile.
Yeah.
All I want is Theo. I want you to make a persuasion check for me.
Use one of your advantages.
Yeah, we might
Ye of little
use
faith.
them. Just use
Using
them.
an advantage.
We've got so many of them. Thank you to the chat for helping everyone with advantages. We appreciate it. 23. I saw your mouth voice, but I didn't hear the voice mouth.
That only gives me a
Oh.
23.
Okay, so what we'll do is this. You guys are able to sell all of that stuff, and I think you have values for that, Rhunar, in your notes. You're muted as well. But we'll figure it out eventually, Vamp.
Yeah.
You guys are able to sell it for 10% over the value I gave you based on that.
Nice.
So cheers. Yep.
Great.
All right. So you have fenced some not stolen, but some recovered goods. Is there anything else you would like to do, Theo?
Someone needs to find charts while Theo is doing that because we need charts to continue along the way we're going. And Tenoch was going to raise his hand, and I bet he's going to say something important.
Tenoch?
I have 2 things I would like to do. Number 1, I would like to attune. Let me double check my fucking attunement levels. But I would like to attune probably to this doohickey.
Please elaborate on doohickey.
To this to the stone of finding.
Okay. Oh, the magical tracking sphere.
Yes, the magical tracking sphere.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, that's probably going to be super bad, and I don't want to do it, but I'm going to do it.
Okay, so you spend some time working with that particular object from your inventory, and you attune to it. And you're able to attune because you have an attunement slot available. Okay, what would you like to do with it? And we're going to say this happens over maybe like you've got like 2 to 3 days, maybe a week at most, where you guys are sort of laying low but taking care of business. So, go ahead.
I guess I would probably do some tests before I went after like the prize, as it were. Do some, just to see kind of get the at least a scope of its capabilities. and what it can do.
Okay.
Because I don't personally know what it can do, obviously. But that's definitely what I would do before I would dive in and see if I could find the ship.
Mhm. Okay.
And the other thing I would like to do would be to find out if I could either find a weapon of which I seek or have one made. In a
Well, let's
short amount of
deal
time.
with the magical
But, yeah.
Kraken sphere first.
Yeah.
Roll an Arcana check for me.
Oh, yes, please. Absolutely. How about an 18?
An 18 is a very fine roll.
I should have totally used an advantage on that.
Tell me
Well,
about
okay.
in just a few words. Tell me what you mean by experimentation with this device. Do you, for example, let me ask this question: Do you use the power word?
Yes.
Okay.
So I guess my first question to you would be, do I get attuning to it? Do I get any more insight into what it does than what I learned from casting Identify on it?
No, you don't.
Okay. In which case, having attuned to it and not immediately becoming a ghoul, I will activate
that you know of.
That I know of. I will activate the power word find, and I will.
The minute you say that word,
okay,
this ball, this rock, this spherical rock, becomes translucent in nature. Anyone who might be with you in the space that you do this, and I'm hoping that you do it maybe on the ship, in your quarters, or somewhere, out of sight of the masses, for example, it glows with this white light, and it swirls with a mist inside of it, and your consciousness is immediately drawn, almost as if it's sucked out of your body. And you've had trances like this before. You've had these out of body experiences where you've divinated, future events or communed with Mother Tiger. This pulls you, and you could feel as though you're being pulled to a specific location. Although you don't know where this location is from the experience that you're having, your consciousness can now see this location, as if you are looking through to some distant place. In this place, immediately your eyes open, and it is this chaotic scene of the deck of a ship, pitching and swaying vertically and horizontally, waves crashing over the bow of the ship, and the gunnels of the ship being flooded with seawater, and you almost feeling as though you're rolling ass over tea kettle, head over heels, as if you are the sphere rolling across the deck, hitting the side of the gunnel, rolling across the other side as the ship catches it. You see through the sphere as these amorphous amalgamation, like tentacled creatures, swarm across the deck, grasping for the sphere, trying to hold it steady as it slips out of its hands. And you hear the cries of agony and pain as these large tentacles start to crush and pull at the hull of the ship. And within, I would say, approximately 10 minutes of this, you see what can best be described as an octopus, perhaps, of immense proportions.
Nope.
But also that is fused with humanoid bipedal creatures that seem to list back and forth across the deck of the ship. And then in a sudden moment, as if you've lost time, you've lost the concept of time, it disappears. And you sit there, you open your eyes, and this rock is black and no longer translucent.
Oh, I know, but that's fucked.
It is.
Cool. Yeah. Okay.
Great times. Great times.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I would probably find some time to share that with my fellows.
So was there any more indication of where this was all happening?
No. I think that perhaps this is different than a different object than we first considered. Perhaps this is a pair. And now one half of the pair is Mosengified. Hmm? And it is
Or
broken.
on that boat, right?
It was, perhaps. That could be, as was shown in my previous vision.
Do you
But
share this
now-
information with Olesko?
I would at some point probably share a bit of it, perhaps.
I mean, we don't know the rest of the location. You know,
Right.
we don't know that much more than we knew before.
But I did tell him I would tell him what I found out.
And it might be important to let him know that we definitely have confirmed that the vessel is lost at sea and full of monster.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I'll tell you lot like the full story. And that's not to say what I tell Mariconia won't be the full story. I'll just perhaps use some glossing abilities. I would say to him, this object we found is perhaps a kind of sensor that allows, I think, a person to find its mate, its sister sensor, perhaps. This sensor was on a ship, and that ship was attacked by something related to what Dr. Gra uncovered.
Do you think the doctor set this up specifically to keep an eye on his things?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you intend to seek the ship, to follow it, to follow up? And if not, Tenoch, we'll send my men if you would provide us with this device. We would track this down and snuff out this plague as you yourselves described it.
I feel if anyone's going to go after it, should be us boys.
I feel like this object has ceased its normal usefulness. That's not to say we can't find use for it in other ways. It is still a big ocean, and we have, again, but a straw. I would say it would probably be a thing we should at least attempt. I can't speak for my fellows.
I just said I'm down, Captain.
Yeah, I'm open to it. I gotta say,
God damn it! Here's seasons 5 and 6, ready to go.
not to make another side quest into a whole season, but
That's what happens.
That's what happens. That's
That's
D
how
and
we
D,
do it.
baby.
That's how
That
we
was a
do
bad idea.
the
It was a bad idea.
the idea of the doctor's things floating around out there.
Not just as things, but as you describe it, Knucklebones, the Mosengi, this plague, survives.
I believe
If it
The
should reach
technical-
landfall,
the technical term now is Mosengdapus.
Yeah, any idea what that thing could have been, by the way, this creature you described, these tentacles? Anything you've seen before?
roll
Like
a
an
nature
octopus?
check.
Who's rolling a nature check?
Oh,
You, Tenoch.
that'd be Tenoch
Oh,
because you
me.
saw it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're the one that saw the creatures,
Oh, that's fair. that's fair.
albeit mutated.
Hmm.
Squidangi. A 17.
Definitely some sort of giant octopus-like creature is what jumps out at you. But also, as was with the fusion of life forms that you saw with the Mosengi creature throughout
It's
Cyber
got other
Isle,
parts.
It's got
It's got
other
other
parts
parts.
associated with it. It's an
Yeah.
amalgamation of species.
Oh, like another thing-like object.
Correct.
It's not dead.
It is Legion.
It cannot be allowed to make landfall, or I fear the worst would happen.
Tenoch, did you get any sense of direction? Do you get any just
It
south,
was-
east, north?
It was tossed in a storm. I could.
Any weather reports recently from the area?
If I could converse perhaps with some other kinds of arcanists, it's possible that there are magics to be had that can get us a better idea. Indeed, even my abilities could possibly be leveraged against this, but I mean, it's going to take
Mhm.
more than what I've done so far, and will take a bit of work.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, out of character, do you intend to give this device to Alesko to let him follow up on this, or do you intend to follow up on it yourselves? That's the decision point right now that we're faced with.
I think we decided we're going to do it.
Okay.
Sidebar. Yeah, fella, you guys all feel that we should do it? I don't know.
Yes.
I mean, it's
What we went through, I don't know if we would. I mean, I know Byron's shaking his head.
but on the other hand, Byron's the kind of guy who's going to get us, a town
If we listen to
vampires,
Byron,
so-
if we ever listen to Byron, we'd all be dead.
Whoa. I had nothing to do with those vampires. I
You
had nothing
literally
to do
poured
with that.
vampire juice into the well, dude.
I did not do that, first of all.
I'm
Well,
not
these
gonna
guys,
let Byron
well,
be my
well, these
conscience
guys
right now.
are bickering with Byron, which could be a total side stream. I would like to
Right.
remind everybody in the chat that we will, at the end of tonight's stream, which is coming up pretty soon, we will be giving away Encounters in the Feywild, a awesome supplement for 5th edition's Dungeons and Dragons that is created by our stream sponsors at CZRPG. If you want to enter to win that, please just type in !drawing, and we're going to go ahead and draw the winner in just a few minutes. Okay, so you guys have decided
Yeah.
to keep the sphere.
Yeah, I think we'll keep the
And
spear and
there's nothing
Yeah.
better than loose ends for a dungeon master. I appreciate that.
Mm.
Let me ask you this. I'm going to go around the horn here.
Mm.
And we may not have a ton of time to role play everything out, but I want to just kind of make sure that while we're in Monmurg, because the intention here is that we are leaving Monmurg, are there any other things you'd like to follow up on? And I'm going to first of all ask Byron to roll a Constitution saving throw for me.
oh no, Byron's
I wish I didn't know what this was about.
Byron.
I'm excited about it.
Byron, Byron,
I really
use your advantages.
I've forgotten
I'm going to
about this.
use one of my advantages.
Yeah. Oh,
A 19.
that's pretty good.
Okay, that is really
I
good.
hope. All right.
All right, I'm going to just throw this out there. Byron, over the course of the week that you are in Cybert Isle, you do your best to keep a low profile, understanding that despite your denial in front
Noble.
of Alesco, you understand the situation. You are not wholly unfamiliar with the way things are done in the noble classes, having come from Gradzul and being connected in some respect to some very, I guess, elite groups. You perhaps rubbed elbows with some of the people that sort of make things happen. You understand that you are a wanted man. You do, however, find yourself sick during much of the stay. In fact, you began to feel this on the voyage back from Cybert Isle, a gnawing feeling in your bones and your psyche, a anxiety, a feeling of anticipation, of hunger, of ferocity, a pull to a more bestial side of your nature that you have not previously encountered. At some point during the journey back from Cybert, in fact, it was made known to amongst the crew, whispered in hushed tones, that much of the meats that had been purchased for the voyage on Cybert had been devoured. You, upon the week spent in Monmurg, find yourself waking one morning, tired, your clothes all but tattered, covered in blood, sick, vomiting, ill, as if an illness that you've never experienced before. The rest of you also are made aware of a spree of killings, of murders, of vicious murders that have occurred in the market district where you have been put up during your stay. It just so happens that last night was a full moon. With that said, Byron, you don't know anything more than the fact that you wake up disoriented and covered in blood. Perhaps hiding it from the rest of the party, perhaps not. But you, my friend, have been stricken with lycanthropy.
And Byron, not knowing what that is just going to think he ate something bad.
It's going to be a little bit more than that, because Byron's not an idiot. So it is definitely, you are covered in blood.
I ate something bad.
There is blood and flesh under your
It
fingernails.
was a few people.
Yeah.
I just hope.
Roll a D8 for me.
It was.
I honestly,
it was 6
part
people.
of me is hoping that it was all all people at that damn ritual.
6
And
people were
that
murdered.
I hope I'm eating those damn. You know what? Those cultists are just as good as food, in my opinion. And if I have consciousness while I'm a werewolf, and any part
You
of
don't.
my
You don't have any
Okay.
consciousness during the werewolf
Okay.
phase. You
Well,
you
never
don't
mind.
you don't necessarily know that piece of it. What you know is that you are deathly sick, and you
Okay.
have blood and flesh under your fingernails and in your teeth, between your teeth. What's your constitution bonus? Your attribute bonus?
Oh God, this tastes awful. It is 1.
You can feel yourself slipping, and you know that your time is limited to be able to hold this back, because you wake the next morning with a voracious appetite. Now, mull on that for a while, and I want to go to Rhunar. Rhunar, what are some things that you want to take care of as we end this stream tonight?
I would like to, if I'm on my own.
You've got basically like a week, so you can do whatever you want. Yeah.
I would like to find out if I can get any more information on the map fragment that Rhunar found.
How would you do that?
I think, well, just looking at it, here's one thing is, yeah, out of character. Were there identifying markings on it? Is there some kind of script on it?
Absolutely. First of all, tell the viewers what you're talking about, this map fragment.
Okay, so back in our first season, a ship that Rhunar was on, was attacked by a pirate ship, and they lost. We defeated them. I searched the captain's quarters, a Captain Charlotte Voldchek of the Black Trident, and I found a map fragment. Basically a piece of a map, not an entire map, and it has been a mystery since. And now that we're in a larger city, I guess I would either want Tenoch to, well, if I think Tenoch could decipher the writing on it, I would want him to do that. And if I wouldn't think that he could do that, I would want to go to see if I could find some sort of map maker or person specialist in town that could possibly identify where in the world this map was pointing to.
Okay. So you seek out Tenoch's help first.
Yeah, I would probably go to Tenoch first.
What languages do you speak, Tenoch?
Ooh, that's a good question. Let us peruse my character sheet. I speak my language. I speak Ulman and Sylvan.
Okay. Roll an Arcana check for me, and feel free to use one of your advantages.
I will do it. Finally remember to use advantage. How about a 14? Because I rolled a 6.
Oh, no.
You and Rhunar sit down over a couple of mugs of mead and take a look at this map fragment. You can see that it is torn on 3 edges. One edge appears to be a worn yet straight edge of a side of a map. You can see plainly that there are at least 2 other pieces that might fit together with this to form a whole. On one side of it, you see what appears to be markings of a route, possibly through a mountainous area, possibly through a forested area. You're not entirely sure. There are some markings around the margins of the map that you can't make out with the languages that you currently have for reading and writing. and speaking. One thing that you do notice, though, is when you turn the map over, there is some very strange arcane markings on the back that you have no idea what they are. It is not like anything you've seen before. Even in books, you've seen markings that might be celestial, or perhaps you've seen, you've probably seen Elven script. This looks nothing like that. It looks chaotic in nature, but you are unable to decipher it. Also, if you were to bring this to someone else, Rhunar, a cartographer, for example, they would be unable to decipher what that text is on the back of the map, but they would confirm Tenoch's suggestion that there are at least 2 other pieces of the map that would fit together to form a whole.
Okay.
Anything else from Rhunar? Byron's just eating people.
No, I'll defer to other people. We're running low on time.
Yep, I'll say this: you are able to find charts to Nerisban, if that's where you intend to go next. So you do find maps. You are able to, if you so desire, to secure cargo to transport south. Mariconia actually helps you to line up a combination of fine liquors, silks, tools, supplies of various types. However, you will be, in order to do this, you will have to purchase the items, at which point then you will be able to sell them once you arrive. So that's the way this works, is that if you're going to go somewhere, you buy the items. They are now yours. And then when you get to a place, you can sell them. So if you're willing to, he has 2,500 gold pieces worth of cargo that he could send with you on your ship if you would like to purchase that. And there's no negotiations or anything. It's just 2,500 gold pieces. You can take some of that or all of it, whichever you prefer.
What do you guys think?
Let's come back to that later, after some of us might spend some money,
right,
or want to.
Sounds good.
Okay, so we'll put a pin in that.
Just FYI, we'll probably be able to sell close to that amount in non-magical items.
Okay.
So that cost might be offset by the stuff that we can sell.
Sure.
Well, we can deal with that later. So it's up to 2,500 gold pieces if you so desire. Anything else from? I think that's all of the bullet points that I had on the list that you sent me. There are some items about the box, the
there
journal,
were some other
etc.
things, but I think that we can handle that underway.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Who would like to go next? Anyone?
Theo doesn't actually have much at this point, because he was going to go back to the Royal Athenaeum and keep a low profile. He's like, maybe let's not go there. So Theo kind of instead throws himself into prepping the ship, helping get the charts lined up, making sure everything's set, and just he's doing mostly ship and ship related work.
Okay.
He will, although before they leave, he will go by the temple to Heronius and leave an offering there.
Very well.
And, leave like 20 gold in the offering plate.
Okay.
Nice.
Tenoch or Byron, anything from you fellas?
I have a few things, I guess.
Please proceed.
I would perhaps inquire about different divination-y magics, different finding magics, than ones that I have access to currently in my spell book.
Okay.
Or items, or or people that can say find a lost thing.
You're trying to find something that's been lost, did you say?
I mean, we are. Yep, it's a boat.
Oh, the boat. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
I heard you say something else, and I got a little sidetracked. So
No,
you're
yeah.
trying to gain some knowledge on how to better use the tracking sphere.
Like if we
Essentially.
can, like, number one, I guess, if it's still, like, if I can figure out, is it still active? If it's not still active, can any of its essence be leveraged arcanely via other means to locate its other half?
Okay.
Right. If that's indeed how all of that works, and I don't actually know.
Sure.
That's what I think that's what I'm postulating. That's what Tenoch is postulating, that perhaps this is some kind of paired object.
So you seek counsel with who?
Yeah, like I don't know. I guess if
Do you go to the Royal Athenaeum? Do you try to keep it?
that would probably be the last place I would look. If
Okay.
I feel like Tenoch's the kind of guy, like, if he has any like arcane based contacts in the city, they might be a little more hedge wizardy, right? A little bit more like him, a little less refined. So I might start with somebody like that, if I have that kind of contact in town, or if I might, know somebody, I would easily attempt to leverage my experience and work with Nadar and Mariconia in whatever ways that I could, to at least get an intro to somebody.
Sure. So yeah, they can provide intros. It would, however, probably take, as you would know, in those channels, those side channels, those back channels, a bit of grease, if you will, to make the intelligence flow.
Sure.
How much are you willing to spend to grease it up, to put some gravy on it?
Put some gravy on it.
Yeah.
Captain, how greasy are we willing to get?
Oh,
You're muted.
thank you for that.
How greasy do we get?
Yeah.
6 gold.
Okay. I will give you, I don't know, what do you think? 100 gold? Don't spend it all in one place.
1,000 gold.
How would the what?
I mean,
To bribe?
That's-
To bribe?
that's me postulating as to how this could go. Like,
So just so you know,
I don't know.
Character,
I've never
out of
I don't
character.
know.
I'm utilizing the research downtime rules in Xanathar's. Not that
Yeah,
you need
1,000
it.
gold is a good
Yep.
start.
Yep.
Okay. All right. If that's what it'll take.
I mean, and that's like,
Byron's just gone.
yeah, like, it's a lot, but I mean, that would be like, because that would be, if we can find something, that would be huge.
Yeah.
That's way more than we got now, and 1,000 gold is worth that.
Okay. So
Let's do it.
you
Let's do
devote
it.
1,000 gold plus your time,
Mhm.
considerable amount of time, leveraging the network of Mariconia and his business dealings, which you find and already knew probably that they go deep within sort of the not so legitimate realm into the Monmurg underbelly. But yes, roll a give me an intelligence check, and I want you to add because of the resources and leverage, I want you to add a +7 to that.
Okay, I will do this with advantage.
Okay.
Intelligence +7. Okay, so 28.
Wow. Okay. Couple things. First of all, you find a person of a learned person who you trust
Okay.
based on the interactions that you have, and you work with that person for a bit of time, and they endeavor with you to activate the sphere. Is that safe to say that you would do that?
Yep.
As you do that, in the presence of this person, they guide you along, and you are able to gather from an element of psychic energy that this sphere gives off a direction. You are able to learn how to utilize the sphere to almost as if it is a radar beacon that pings
Ooh.
and has a range that extends to its match. You are correct that there is a twin.
Mm.
So this is the receiver, and there is a transmitter.
Oh.
So you're able to ascertain how to tell direction,
Okay.
and you are also work with that person to learn how to, that you could potentially, if you have the spell, when you get close enough, use locate item to find the pair to this. I think it's within 1,000 feet. I'm not sure about locate item, but I think it's 1,000 feet. You learn that. You also learn, because of the roll, the final piece of information is that because this person is with you when you activate the beacon and sees what you see, they are extremely concerned, and they spend a little bit of time doing some research, and they relate to you that they believe that this could be some sort of a contagion, which confirms what your experiences were on Cybert Isle, that if this were to be released into a populace, that it could, quite frankly, tear asunder the biological underpinnings of that ecosystem and transform it. So that's what you learn.
Like now, both vampires and werewolves. Vampires, werewolves, and Masengi.
There's a lot of transformation. Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah, this is our Greyhawk anyhow.
Yeah, right.
So those are the things that you learn about this
Cool.
item, how to use it better, more effectively, to find what you're looking for. Is there anything else, Tenoch, that you want to do?
I want to get a knife, or get one made.
Yeah, you're able to have a knife crafted in the fashion that you would like. In the sort of crafted to be almost like a cat claw knife.
Yeah. I'll even share with you, my fellows, what it looks like. Yeah, I guess if I could get a little bit of extra money from the captain, I could get some more spell components that would allow me to do some interesting things. It would require 300 gold pieces.
Yeah.
Which would allow me to summon a little friend.
Okay. Let's do it. It's just
Sweet.
a rolling tally of money at this point. I don't know if we can afford
that's all
it.
a captain is. I will have if possible, obviously via the DM, a gilded flower made.
A gilded flower.
Yep. So that I may cast a spell which I chose, and then of course realized later that I don't have a spell component for, which is Summon Fey, which is a rad spell. And I have it, and I wanted to use it.
Spell.
Yeah.
But
absolutely.
I don't have a component for it. So if
yeah,
I can get
you're
that
able
component,
to. As long as you have the gold that's needed for it, you're able to find it for sure. Absolutely.
Awesome.
Byron, is there anything that you intend to do, having sort of realized that there's something terribly wrong with you?
You know, I think Byron would probably try to solve it on his own first.
Mm-hmm.
So, but he might, I think he'd go to Theo. So I'm going to go to Theo and be like, Theo, listen. I woke up today covered in blood. Whoa, wait. Before you freak out or anything.
No, I'm listening. It's you woke up. I'm going to guess you are covered in blood. You've been
was totally
losing
naked.
times. You're wearing no clothes, and it was a full moon last night, right?
I didn't look at the sky. Are you kidding me? Why would I look at the sky? Like, the sky's not going to fix my problems.
Well,
I
no,
woke up. I felt awful.
Do you remember
covered
the
in
part
blood.
where you got bit by a werewolf?
Wait. I was bit by a werewolf?
Yes, remember the giant wolf monster that came out of the mist? We were in the cove and kind of
When was this? Holy shit.
it snuck up behind you and beat you?
You almost died. I'm not there. Sorry.
You mean when that old guy... Did that old guy get killed by the werewolf too?
No, he was a werewolf. We took care of him before you regained consciousness. So this explains a number of things. Oh, holy fuck. We need to go to a church because you're infected with werewolfism. I believe there's a
Werewolfism.
technical term for that. I know
think I
the
read
Elvish
about that.
word. The Elvish word is salata sahalaha, but it's
that-
mouthy.
Holy crap. I gave my book to... Oh no. I gave my book away. I don't know if my
So-
book had anything about this though.
We're going to a
Werewolfism. I
church
don't remember
now,
that.
Byron, and at the church, they will hopefully be able to help you.
Is there anything else we can do instead?
Yep.
Do you know some other way to purge a curse of the blood that has infected you?
No, I just don't like churches. They just make me feel very uncomfortable.
I can completely understand that, my friend, but it's kind of the only thing I can think of off the top of my head to deal with this.
Is it going to be a church to the devil? Because the last time I went to a church of the devil, I killed a guy and now I'm wanted in this city.
No. This is a church for much nicer people. Let me tell you a story about a friend of mine named Farendir. Theo says as he puts an arm around the smelly, blood-covered friend,
Naked.
Byron, and starts walking him towards the docks.
Do you have do you have like pants or anything on you?
Why would you need pants? You're a glorious man. Fine, let's get you dressed first.
Please. I feel like I will draw attention.
Put on some
Yeah.
pants.
Just Daffy Duck it all the way
The
there.
important part is pants, Church of Heronius, talk to priest there.
You make your way to the priest. You implore for the divine power of purification. They do ask for a nominal offering to the church for their services of 200
got
gold
this.
pieces.
What?
I got it.
No, that
I
sounds
have
about right.
12 gold.
Theo will have picked up some gold from Rhunar on the way out and explained both to the captain and Tenoch that I think our boy got werewolf.
It's a Byron tax. It's like living with Byron. You know,
That's exactly what
it's just like you gotta just pay to live with this guy sometimes. All right.
You pay the fee. The priest, cleric, I should say, casts remove curse, and you do feel the elation and the relief of this oppressive anxiety leaving your body. There is, of course, the matter of numerous dead bodies from the night before that are tied to you if there were to be an investigation. Luckily, the 5 of you and the crew of the Good Buddy have made plans to set sail the next morning, to leave Monmurg and to head south towards adventure, towards chaos, towards the Mosengi,
Masengapus.
the Masengapus. And this, my friends, after a very unexpected arc of adventure, we come to an end for our season with the 5 of you departing Monmurg, sailing south in the Good Buddy into the sunrise and the promise of adventure, which we will find out what happens when we come back in a couple of weeks and begin our next, perhaps our last, I don't know, season of Beyond Saltmarsh. Thank you guys for making it super fun. That was awesome. An awesome arc. I'm glad you guys made it back to Monmurg and were able to take care of some of these loose ends.
And get back out alive.
Right.
We do have a couple of surprises in the works for next season. Let's do this. As you guys head south, a couple days into the voyage, you run into rough weather, seas that lurch and swell as Tenoch attempts to home in on a location, perhaps of the Lord's Trident, trying to follow up on this final loose end from your adventures on Cybert Isle. In doing so, in the wee hours of the afternoon sun as it dips beyond the horizon, you see as one of the crew members, perhaps it is Korga, drunk, of course, as Korga usually is, listing about on the deck, calling out, "There's a ship ahead! A ship ahead!" And Rhunar, as you come up from your quarters with just a little bit of light left in the sky and you pull out your spyglass and you look about, you see not a ship, but only 100 feet off the starboard side of the Good Buddy, a small rowboat appears to be unmanned. And that, my friends, is where we will end tonight's episode.
Hooray.
What's in the boat?
Thank you.
Dr. Gross.
Thank you, everybody, for being here tonight. We really appreciate it. It's amazing. Those of you who have been with us, it is unbelievable to have your support. So thank you for being here. It's super fun to have people in the chat enjoying this as we enjoy it. I want to give something away. So if folks want to get in on the action,
right now,
all you need to do so is to type !drawing. !drawing. Please go ahead and enter. We're going to be giving away Encounters in the Feywild, which, if I can find my notes, hey, I found them, is an epic 5th edition's Dungeons & Dragons supplement produced by our stream sponsor, CZRPG Publishing. It's a 48-page document with 10 detailed encounters, new stat blocks, unique maps, a bunch of great artwork. It essentially gives you a bunch of interesting and exciting encounters to drop into any of your campaigns. So if you're a dungeon master, this is going to be great. If you are interested in perhaps, getting this kind of thing for your dungeon, it's always nice to give your dungeon master a little gift, right? Am I right, guys?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is for you. So check it out. We really want to just to say thank you to CZRPG. I have been dropping their the link to their Kickstarter. And Michael, I think you might have also been dropping that in there. If you could find that again and drop that into the chat, check out their Kickstarter. They are producing a bunch of really fun content and you should get in on it. Now, my friends, let's go ahead and draw tonight's winner for Encounters in the Feywild. Chad, if you would be so kind as to give us a 5-second countdown.
Let's do it.
1, 2, 3,
Countdown
4,
technically, but we'll go with it.
5.
Here we go, folks. Silver Red Fox
Fox.
Gaming. You are the lucky winner.
Gaming, you won.
Congratulations.
Right there. You
Hooray.
got it right at the end.
Thanks for being here. We really appreciate it. You guys mean a lot to us. It's amazing to have such a great community. Thanks to the folks who put on the Greyhawk Con last weekend.
Give
Super
someone else.
fun. All of the people who who gave. Oh, you want to give it to somebody else?
Yeah, Silver Red Fox
Oh
Gaming said give it to
my!
someone else.
All right, we'll pay it forward.
Oh, they won last time.
That's true.
Okay.
You can win again, but
Yeah,
it's up
ask
to
Van
you.
Wickman.
Yeah,
exactly.
we've had
All right, we're
repeat
giving it
winners
away.
before, but it's up to you.
Andy, 5-second
Yeah.
countdown. Let's go. Let's do it.
Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Minnesota Muse.
Oh,
Hey!
Minnesota Muse.
Congratulations, Minnesota Muse. Ashley, you are the lucky
Hooray.
winner of Encounters in the Feywild. Everybody, thank you
Congrats.
so much for being here. We will be back next week with a new adventure that Michael's going to be running, and it is
Yeah.
called Isle of the Endless Fog.
Another fine CCRPG product that we are super excited to showcase and
Yeah.
run through.
Yeah, this will be the first
Hell
time that
yeah.
we dive full bore into one of their products, so that's really exciting. And don't forget, tomorrow night, Chad.
Tomorrow night, Midwinter
What?
Keening returns
Hey!
for all of that bowl of fun.
Yep. We've had a couple weeks off, and we're excited to get back to
Yeah.
it. So come and check us out tomorrow night.
Very excited.
We appreciate you guys. We love you. And anything else, guys? Let's just say goodbye. Thank you so much.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
We'll see you next time.